Come on down to Smokin' Joe's Crack Pipe Emporium and get your free drug paraphernalia. Make sure to ask for the Hunter limited edition crack pipe so you can feel like an overly pampered, privileged white man while becoming incredibly high. We have pipe and smoking kits of every shape and size to fit your smoking needs and make sure you feel that racial equity. Don't forget the needles and syringes in convenient shareable packs of 100. We're here for all your getting high needs. Just come on down, man, to Smokin' Joe's Crack Pipe Emporium, located at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. Just look for the big White House. That's Smokin' Joe's Crack Pipe Emporium for all your getting high needs.
The opinions voiced on the Raw are those of the hosts and the callers and not necessarily represent the views and opinions of KTOX and Ruben Broadcasting, or its advertisers. The opinions should be considered as the ramblings of raving lunatics.
You're listening to The Raw with Henry and Miss Raw, brought to you by Pirate Web Radio Productions, Ruben Broadcasting, along with KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
We the people, and all we do, reserve the right to scream, fuck you! Wear your mask, take your pills, now a whole generation's mentally ill. Man, fuck about you. But COVID's near, it's coming to town. We gotta act quick, shut our borders down. Joe Biden does, the media embraces. Big Dot does it and they call them racist. We the people.
Let's go, Brandon. Oh, yeah. Joe Biden. Oh, my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is The Raw. I'm your hostess with most of Miss Deanne Hansen. How y'all doing tonight? It is great. I am off the mountain. Of course, we had a little bit of a program last night where we listened to former President Trump have a conversation with Elon Musk on X. Little bit of an explanation of why I did that. There were technical issues at the beginning, and those technical issues stemmed around a DDoS attack. That's a directed denial of service attack. Is what that stands for. And what that means in layman's terms is some assholes with a bunch of computers decided to send to try to shut down Twitter and Twitter Spaces using their computers and sending just erroneous information to Twitter, and which the computers, they don't know any better, so they try to handle that, and it causes disruptions in service and people couldn't get on. So I decided, well, what the hell, I'm in, I'm not going to refresh the page. I'm in, I will just go ahead and rebroadcast so as many people as possible would be able to watch that. Now, of course, that is on Rumble, that is on Twitter, and I believe it's on Facebook as well. So you can go back and watch that at your leisure, or you can just get on X and listen to the original without my commentary or Henry's commentary overshadowing that. So that's that's something that you can do if you wish to do so. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about Tim Walz, aka Tampon Tim, and his service record. Now, I don't normally do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do this tonight because there is a YouTuber by the name of Angry Cops. I don't know if you're familiar with him. If you're not, okay. He is United States Army. He was a drill sergeant. He was also several other things when he was active. And he tackled this issue of the stolen valor with Tim Walz, or Tampon Tim, as I like to call him. And it is a good explanation. He lines it out step by step by step, and we're gonna go through that. We're gonna watch that and go through that over the next hour or so, because, frankly, as a veteran myself, I am completely and thoroughly disgusted. Here's a man who did over 20 years of service with the National Guard. I'm not going to deny that, because he did. That in itself, to me, is very honorable and worthy of mention and worthy of praise. But what he has done with his service afterwards, embellishing where he was, embellishing the fact that, he's a retired command sergeant major, regardless of what your opinion is. He did not retire a command sergeant major. He did not complete his contract. And we'll be talking about that as well, because there are several points. There are several points that need to be brought up. And concerning this, he never stepped foot in Iraq or Afghanistan. He did not do a lot of things that he said he did. And to be the heartbeat away from being the commander in chief, you have to have absolute positive integrity, especially if you're going to command troops. You have to have 100% integrity. And it's driving me to distraction. And then, of course, not only that, we can also look at his civilian record as well, where he ordered the police during COVID, during the COVID lockdowns, when they had the curfews. If you didn't go into your house and police saw you, they'd shoot paintballs at you. There's videos. So, we can talk about it. We can talk about those as well. But primarily, we're going to be looking at this sack of shit's actual record, and talk about the things that matter when it comes down to what he says and what is actual fact in his service. Like I said, I have mad respect for anybody who's done over 20 years in active or reserve status. That isn't in question. That is not in question. And if he just stuck with it, hey, I did 24 plus years in the whatever fucking National Guard. Man, you got my support. I may not like what you do politically, but dude, you got my mad respect. But when you start embellishing that, when you start lying about it, saying that you were in places that you were not, then I have absolutely positively no fucking respect for you. So we're going to be doing that time. Of course, we're going to also be taking your phone calls at 928-476-0331, 928-476-0331. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting program. It really is. So, sit down, buckle up, because we're going to do this. Now, the video that we're going to be, I don't know, I guess it's called reacting is what it is. But this guy's name is Angry Cops. Let me bring that up here. Boom. Hi, there he is. This is Angry Cops. And like I said, he is a drill sergeant in the National Guard in New York. And he has a unique perspective. And we're going to go through that go through that perspective right now. Here's Angry Cops.
But before I get started, first, and this is going to be good if I have to say this, the views expressed on this page or any derivative therefrom are those of myself and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Department of Defense or the U.S. government. Kamala Harris, the Democratic Party's presidential nominee, has picked a vice president for her campaign. And it's this guy, Tim Walz. Now, a lot of controversy has just popped up over Tim Walz. And you might say, who gives a shit about another pudgy, bald white guy from the Midwest? And although...
Absolutely. Who gives a shit about another pudgy white guy from the Midwest, right? Yeah.
I might be inclined to agree with you. The issue is his military service. Not that he didn't serve, because he did.
Questionable.
But what he says that he did and what others are saying that he didn't. It's literally a case of stolen valor. Stolen valor! Stolen valor! Potentially. Tim Walz is currently the governor of Minnesota. Started off as a representative in Congress and then became the governor, I think, in 2016 or 18. And the topic that's getting everybody, I would say, just reasonably upset is that while serving in the Minnesota National Guard, then Command Sergeant Major Walz totally abandoned the unit that was deploying to Iraq because he didn't want to go, which is not good if you're in a command position.
Absolutely.
Now, that's one hell of an allegation, and I wouldn't be bringing this up if it wasn't, one, so titillatingly interesting, and two, I did my research and wanted to share the facts and some of my opinions at the very end on what's actually happening, what the issue is, what are the facts. I would also like to add that I am making direct quotes from news articles.
And that's what he is doing. Okay. This is why I chose this, is because he's got his ducks in a row. All right. There are a lot of, honestly, there's a lot of BS around this. What, like him or not, there's a lot of fucking BS around it. And it's difficult. It honestly is difficult to discern what is right and what is wrong. Let's continue.
You cannot punish me for facts.
Just the facts, ma'am.
All right. Let's get going. We all have bad habits. Mine is my unwillingness to open up to new people. But don't let your bad habits control your life. Now, what if I told you that there's a more enjoyable way?
Skip his ad. There we go. Dot. All right, now. Yeah, try fume. That's his ad.
Of a journey pack today. Okay, let's start this thing. There's a lot of information that's going to be floating around here, so I have notes, and I'm going to break this thing up into different parts so that it's more easily understandable, okay? First part, his service. I'm going to talk about Command Sergeant Major-ish, his service. Then, we're going to talk about the origin of this issue. Where did this thing come from? Where did all this come from, right? Who's complaining about this? Why now? Does it even matter? Is this news or just fucking gossip?
And that is the issue right there. Is it news or is it just fucking gossip?
And we got the meat and potatoes. What are the issues with this service? What's being alleged? Just the facts.
Just the facts, ma'am.
Reading you news articles, I'm making it an easily digestible bulleted system. If A plus B equals C, well then,
Where's the D?
And then there's my thoughts. If A plus B equals C, and C is not a good thing, I'm going to try and explain why I think, and military members might view that C is a bad thing. And then, like any other good book report, there's a conclusion where I tell you to support the channel with the shirt and all that other good stuff. And like how there's probably going to be an additional 5 or 10 minutes of me telling you how I really feel on Pepperbox. Okay, let's begin. His service. Walz was an enlistment in the Minnesota National Guard, and he hit 20 years in September of 2001. Some people might remember September in 2001. Some would say that there was a significant incident that happened during that time. Now, unlike some people who didn't re-enlist after 9/11, Instructor Steve, sorry, Master Sergeant Walz enlisted for another 6 years. And math is going to be very important here, so follow along with me. 2001 plus 6 years equals the year 2007. That would be his end date. Sign a contract in September 2001 for 6 years. Ends in September of 2007. Basic math, we all understand this. Good. It comes up later. In 2003, he deployed to Italy with his group of Joes in the 1st and 125th Field Artillery in order to assist and support the active duty component in Operation Enduring Freedom, OEF. So 2003, 6-month deployment to Italy. Amazing. Wish my deployments were in Italy. And then he comes back home. In spring of 2004, he's selected to become a command sergeant major. We're going to need this later. E8, Master Sergeant, 3 up, 3 down. E9, Command Sergeant Major, means he's in charge of troops. He's got the star and the wreath. 3 up, 3 down, star and wreath. Okay, 2 different ranks. Visuals are important. We'll need them later. In spring of 2004, he was selected to be the Command Sergeant Major of the 1st and 125th Field Artillery.
Now, this is important. This is an important part of this, because now we get into some particulars that, I didn't even know. Let's continue on.
Now, Command Sergeant Major is a promotion. All right, we've got the Master Sergeant here, 3 up, 3 down. He's getting a promotion to Command Sergeant Major, 3 up, 3 down, with the star and a wreath in center. Ooh. Notice how they look different. That's important. September 17th of 2004,
one is an E8 and one is an E9.
Officially, that is the date of promotion to Command Sergeant Major of the 1st and 125th Field Artillery. And when I say conditionally promoted, I mean there are certain stipulations that he has to follow
this is
in order
the important
to retain
part.
that rank. Otherwise, he goes back to Master Sergeant. Now, one of the things that he has to do is complete the Command Sergeant Major Academy, or the Sergeant Major's Academy. And it's 2 years. Things change, but at the time, it's 2 years long. 2 years of correspondence and paperwork. He's at home, he's at the unit, he's typing on his keyboard, and he's sending emails out and getting work done that way. And then that culminates at the very end to 2 weeks in Texas at Fort Bliss, where all the people in the Sergeant Major's Academy get together, turn in their stuff, shake hands, do the pomp and circumstance, and then get awarded their certificates stating that they completed training. Now, of course, we have to pass that school, but the stipulations in order to retain the rank of Command Sergeant Major are as follows. Now, keep in note that Walz agreed to these stipulations and signed a document stating such back in 2003. Stipulations are: you must serve for 2 years after the academy or after promotion, whichever is later. So you could be a sergeant major, go to the academy, but then once you graduate from the academy, you still got to do 2 years. Or you're a master sergeant and you go to the academy because you want to get promoted in the future. And then once you're promoted in the future, you have to stay in that position for 2 years to retain the rank. That's one stipulation. Now, specifically for Walz, he's already a Command Sergeant Major, so the latter would be the second he completes the Sergeant Major's Academy, he would have to stay in for 2 years.
Absolutely.
Stipulation number 2. If you fail the academy, you can potentially be chaptered out of the military. And stipulation number 3. If you fail to complete the course, you will be reduced back to your E8 rank.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
So let's map this out, shall we? So if he starts his school, the Sergeant Major Academy, in 2003, right, which he did, we'll even just say January 2003. Starts in 2003. And it's 2 years long, okay? So he's not going to be done with the Sergeant Major Academy until 2005. Okay, makes sense. And then he has to stay in, right? Because he's got to stay in 2 years after he graduates the Sergeant Major's Academy. So now that brings us 2005, 2 plus 2, 2007. So that actually lines up perfectly, right? Signs up 2001 for 6 years and gets out in 2007, September, right? Remember, signed up in September. And then in 2003, they're like, hey, you want this promotion? And in order to complete the schooling and stay in long enough, that would take him to, well, 2007, right? He would be able to keep his rank and stay a command sergeant major, even after you're retired. Numbers are
matter.
Cool. So what's the issue? I see a guy with 20 plus years in military service as a positive, especially on any politician's checklist. And as veterans, we absolutely want somebody who's been in our shoes, in our ranks, to go up to the freaking people in charge and say, I know how it is. You're not going to bullshit me. This is what they need. This is what they don't. Let's knock it off. So
now, let's go back and review that. Just a moment. Okay, in 2003, he's offered this position, Command Sergeant Major of a battalion of artillery. He accepts. He takes on the responsibility to attend this correspondence school for 2 years, where, you know, he's got coursework and stuff like that. He's got to send it back and forth. I've done Army correspondence courses. They're a pain in the fucking ass. But there's a reason behind it, because there are certain things that you have to demonstrate that you know in order to complete the course. Which is, okay, fine. It's great. It's a wonderful thing. It's something that needs to be done. If you don't complete the course, well, you can be kicked out of the Army. And if you do complete the course, well, then you need to stay in your position for 2 years. You need to be you need to be in the service for 2 years as a command sergeant major. Otherwise, you get kicked back to your master sergeant rank. That's an E8. Now, of course, there are two versions of E8s. There's first sergeant and then there's master sergeant. First sergeant has a little diamond in the middle. That's your company top kick. They are there supporting the commander, the captain of that company. And it's an important position. It really is. Because they are in command of troops. They are responsible for making sure the troops are taken care of and supporting the command, just like the command sergeant major rank. They are in command of troops. They are responsible for making sure that the enlisted people are taken care of and are well disciplined and well trained. That's why command sergeant majors are gods in the U.S. Army. Let's continue.
So why all the kickback, huh? What is the issue with Tim Walz? And more importantly, why is it coming up now? Well, here's the origin of the issue. Well, now let's move on forward to early 2005. Command Sergeant Major Walz is notified, and so is his unit, that they will be deploying for a combat tour in Iraq. And Walz makes statements to his troops that, hey, I'm going to be your command sergeant major for this deployment. Awesome. These are facts. Uh-oh. But in May of 2005, just months later, he drops out of the Army. And I don't know why, and I don't know how. Not really sure how you get out just randomly if you're getting out of your contract like that. There are some ways that I'll bring it up a little bit later on at the very end. But in this way, I don't know, or especially when it's months after you were notified that you will be going on a deployment.
Okay, this is an important part. This is a critically important part. his unit, his battalion has been notified that they are going to be doing a combat tour in Iraq. That they are to mobilize to ship to Iraq and do a combat tour. The United States Army has this wonderful thing. It's called stop loss. That means transfers. That means retirements. That means end of enlistments. That means everything is stopped until the end of that deployment. If somebody is flying through and stops at that unit for any reason, for any length of time, they are stuck with that unit until after the deployment. That's so it gives that particular unit that's getting ready to deploy the best chance of having all the personnel and equipment necessary to be effective deployed. It's called stop loss for a reason. Yet somehow he was allowed to retire. Let's continue.
Like, has anybody here not heard of stop loss?
Oh, I think I just
continue with the facts. Okay, facts. Walz stated that his reasoning for getting out in 2005 was so that he could make a congressional run, so that he could run for a seat in politics. So Walz is out prior to his contract ending, and he's a command sergeant major at this point. But it's strange because I thought that there were stipulations regarding how long you had to be in if you were going to be a command sergeant major. Anyway, well, he failed to keep them, so is he still a command sergeant major? Because, I mean, he didn't complete the school, and on top of that, he didn't stay in the rank long enough. But now, finally, he was dropped down to master sergeant in his retirement paperwork, but that didn't happen for some time after he dropped out of the military in 2005. Okay. We have the facts now. The public grievances with Walz didn't start just recently. It didn't even start when he first became governor. It started back in 2006, way back in November 1st in 2006, when the Winona Daily News, yes, I need my notes,
the Winona
ran an
Daily
article
News.
where a veteran stated that Command Sergeant Major Walz is not actually a Command Sergeant Major, and that he ditched his entire battalion, of which he was in command of as a senior ranking enlisted man, and just went home. Said, you guys are going to Iraq? Well, I guess I'm out of here. Peace.
This is the portion that bothers me the most. This is the portion that grates me to no fucking end. The unit has already been designated for deployment. There's a stop loss in effect. The only way you're getting out of it is if you're dead or locked up in prison. That's the only way you're getting out of it. And he decides that he is going to run for Congress. And in order to run for Congress, he needs to retire from the National Guard. I'm going to mention a name, and this name is going to be brought up here in just a little while. That name is Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii. Let's continue on.
Said, you guys are going to Iraq? Well, I guess I'm out of here. Peace.
He abandoned us. You know, I mean, what the hell kind of leader does that? I mean,
but that's not all. See, that's a separate article in 2006 from the one that came up in 2018.
Barron says Walz's misleading statements about his military service first led him to come forward in the fall of 2018.
Because a lot of the information that I got for this interesting story comes from an article posted in that 2018 time space from two, count them, 1, 2 command sergeant majors in the Minnesota National Guard, one of which replaced Tim Walz and went on that tour with the troops that he quote unquote abandoned, right? I'm quoting the article from 2006, or from 2018, because that's exactly what the command sergeant major said that Walz did.
He abandoned us.
Oh, but that's not all. The article with the 2 command sergeant majors calling out Walz's service came up again in 2022. So that's where the story and the allegations within it are coming from. Way back in 2006, and then again in 2018, then again in 2022. So thinking that this is just because he's going for vice president, I would say is a fallacy. Let's move it on down to the meat and potatoes of what happened and what's alleged.
Let's go. Meat and potatoes tonight.
Oh, God, that was a lot. All right, welcome to the final portion of this, besides the conclusion, my thoughts. Now, I've called numerous senior non-commissioned officers, talked to a couple officers, and a very good sergeant major friend of mine to get a better grasp on what exactly happened or could have happened during this time frame that I just shot right at you out of a cannon, along with giving some additional facts that were in the tap laundry list of things that I just gave you before. All right, let's begin. When you go to the Sergeant Major's Academy, you get to choose which kind of Sergeant Major you want to be. Do you want to be a command Sergeant Major that's in charge of troops, or do you want to be a Sergeant Major? I know, it's a little confusing. Wait, they're the same but different? They're both E9s. They're both enlisted rank 9s. But
let me break this down simply. When I was in the Army, I was an E4. I was a specialist E4. There are 2 separate E4 ranks in the United States Army and the United States Marines, and I'm not sure about the other services. But one is in the United States Army, one is specialist and one is corporal. As a specialist, I was not a junior non-commissioned officer. I was just an enlisted man, E4. If I had gotten that lateral promotion to corporal, I would have been a junior non-commissioned officer. I had been on my way to the rank of sergeant and above. What he's talking about here is one. All right, if you're looking at this one here, Command Sergeant Major, Star and Wreath, he's in command of troops. He is the right hand of the battalion commander or the brigade commander or whatever. And he has taken, the command sergeant major route. Now, mind you, the other one over here, all right, this is an admin position. This is an admin position. This is a position where when you take this, when you take this rank, you're that's fine. It's still E9. You still have to go to school. You still have to complete the terms. And he did not. But let's continue.
One, the command sergeant major takes command of troops, right? His right-hand man is the commanding officer of the battalion, the brigade, etc. The sergeant major usually stays in to assist, but not be the head guy in charge, right? Same rank, but a different position. One's got a star, one's got a star and a wreath. Okay, it's as easy as I can make it. I know it's confusing. But when you go to the Sergeant Major's Academy, you have to choose which one you want. So that means that Command Sergeant Major at the time, Walz, chose to be in charge of troops. He could have been in a headquarters element assisting with operations or logistics, etc. But instead, he wanted to be in command of troops and assist the commanding officer as his right-hand man.
Absolutely.
He made that choice. He could have written down both and tried to get promoted to one or the other, but he still wrote down one and accepted it. which means he chose that leadership and responsibility of the command sergeant major. By the way, during a time in GWAT where it didn't matter if you were active guard or reserve, your unit was getting deployed to a combat zone. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. And by the way, in choosing this, he blocked somebody else from getting that position. So if there's some master sergeant below him down here that wants to get promoted to be a command sergeant major, he took it away from them. He intentionally chose this thing to be a leader and prevented someone else from taking the slot. Somebody that would have wanted to maybe go overseas and deploy, just saying. A lot of people, most likely the guy that had to replace him, that is a part of the main story that I have linked in the description, would probably be very, very angry at that and remember it forever. I know I would. Second point. But he couldn't stay in, you might say. He's going to run for a political position. Would you be amazed if I told you that you are allowed to serve in the Guard or Reserves and run for a political appointment?
This is an important point. This is an important point. And now we're going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard.
Some sort of political office? That's right. There is a Department of Defense directive that states such. It says, hey, yeah, you can run for political office, but you need to let the Secretary of Defense know before you go on to active duty status, because they can hold that active duty status and let you run. And for Walz, that active duty status would be a deployment. Now, could the SecDef say, no, you got to go on a deployment? You signed up as a command sergeant major. What are you doing? Potentially. Yes, he could. But if you win your primaries and you start talking to other delegates saying, hey, I won our party's thing, but I got to get deployed. What am I going to do? You know that party's delegates are going to say, oh, no, we're not. No, well, you'll just stay here. We'll just have a different somebody go in your place. Like, how is this a big deal? Because it's not. I'm not sure if Mr. Walz has ever heard of Tulsi fucking Gabbard.
She put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
But she serves currently as a United States Army officer and was also in Congress at the time while she was serving. Dual service, military and in politics. Amazing. Side note, Tulsi Gabbard just became the battalion commander of a drill sergeant unit in the 95th Division. Which I'm a part of. So not my battalion, but welcome to the division, Colonel. I don't know how our command is going to handle both of our, well, your real media personality and my internet personality together.
Yeah, there's the thing. There is the goddamn rub right there. There is the thing right there. He would have continued to be able to serve, fulfill his contract, and then thusly retire as a command sergeant major, E9. Except he went behind his commander's back and secured early retirement.
I am nowhere even near the ballpark of Tulsi Gabbard. Why did I even say it? All right, we're back. My thoughts, part 3. Walz signed up for a 6-year contract in September of 2001. How did he get out in May of 2005? We're going to math again, kids. Everybody get your math boards together. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Walz made statements
racist math stuff.
that he had only signed a 4-year contract in 2001. Okay. Well, now it's he said, she said. You know what would really help out with that? A copy of your contract. Easily. That would just, boom, done. Throw all this stuff out. We're easy. We're good to go. Okay. But until that, it is strange. And here's why. Because if you did sign a 4-year contract, right, you signed it in September of 2001. So it would end in September of 2005. It wouldn't end 6 months earlier in May 2005. How many months is that? I forget. I'm mathing too many things right now and I can't think. Either way, you don't get to leave the Army early, especially when you're getting deployed. And on top of that, it makes joining the
and it's another thing. Hello, stop loss. Your contract is automatically extended through the end of that deployment until you rotate back to the United States of America. It's not that fucking difficult.
Sergeant Major's Academy, equally odd. If you know you're getting out in 2005, why start the Sergeant Major's Academy in 2003? Because you'll complete the academy in 2 years, in 2005, and then you'll have an additional 2 years to stay in rank before you can retain that rank forever and retire at that rank, which 2 plus 2005, 2007. Oh my gosh, it lines up perfectly with the 6-year contract conspiracy theory. So why take the rank, the position, the potential retirement, knowing that you would not be able to keep up your end of the bargain, your end of the contract, fulfill the stipulations in order to retain the rank? Anybody? Bueller? Point number 4 that I find strange that we all do if you're in the military. His retirement paperwork says unavailable for signature. Now, I'm not sure if that's his TD2.
Let's go back to that. Unavailable for signature. That means he put in his retirement paperwork and just fled. Let's go to the phones. The Raw, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, Chuck, how you doing?
Oh, I was doing okay until I saw the show tonight, to be quite honest with you. I don't, everybody's purposely trying to misunderstand this just to be angry at somebody, I think.
Okay.
They really are.
Where am I purposely misunderstanding this?
Okay, how many years does this guy have in National Guard service?
About 24.
Okay, and were you aware that after 24 years of service, you can opt out of getting out of the military?
Not when there's a stop loss.
Well, I guess that's not the case here because it wasn't during stop loss.
His unit. Hang on, Chuck. Hang on. His unit had been notified that they're being deployed. Once you receive
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Hang on.
No, it does not.
Chuck, listen to me, please.
You're not going to talk to me out of this because I think that you're just really looking for. You're lining yourself with a bunch of people that call this guy Tampon Tim and are anti-trans. You realize that? You're lining yourself with a bunch of
Chuck, I'm not buying that at all.
Oh, you don't know he's called.
Hang on. Are you gonna? Yes, I did. I called him Tampon Tim last night. I called him Tampon Tim today. I even called him I think I even called him Tampon Tim in the description. But at this point, hang on and let me finish my thought, please. Before you start talking over me again. Can I do that?
You bet.
Do I have your fucking permission?
As long as you don't fuck it up because you're putting out bad information, okay?
I am putting out the information.
You and every other idiot fucking moron that doesn't know shit about the National Guard. Okay?
There was a deployment order. The deployment order was received and accepted by the Minnesota National Guard. That puts a stop loss on that unit. That means there are no transfers, there are no retirements, there are no ETSs, there are nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's called stop loss. Same thing happened to your unit when you rotated over to Bosnia. Same thing happened when you were. It did, but it wasn't called stop loss at the time.
Look, the only time that I had stop loss was after September 11th.
Right.
After September 11th in 2001, we had a stop loss. Everybody had a stop loss, and their ETS was moved to December 31st, 2031.
Right.
So, and they want stop, move, stop, freeze, stop. That means stop. But
correct.
When you're talking about a soldier, and by the way, why is the National Guard being deployed anyway? I don't understand that.
National Guard and reserves were being deployed constantly.
Yeah, I know. But why?
That's their job.
No, it's not. What does the National Guard mean? It means National Guard. It doesn't mean go to fucking Italy or go someplace else. You can thank George W. Bush for that one.
Well, you had National Guard units deployed to Korea, Vietnam, World War II. You had these things. It happens, Chuck. And you know, if you just want to argue about it and go, well, why is the fucking National Guard right? It's because it's their fucking job. They are still federal troops. Guard.
Well, they're federalized until they need them because there's no draft or anything like that. That's why.
That is correct.
And by the way, if there was National Guard troops, I'm sure there was during the Vietnam War, there was still a draft at that time.
Yes.
Okay. And they still, so, I mean, 24 years, let's get back to this 24 years of service. Versus J.D. Vance and his bones for captain in chief. You guys want to sit there and talk about a 24-year-old,
okay.
24.
All right. Now you're comparing oranges with apples. Now you're comparing oranges with apples.
Well,
all right.
Yeah, because J.D. Vance is a wall-eyed pogue that sat in the rear and took notes about what happened.
Okay.
That's what he did.
All right.
And now he wants to sit there and call himself a war hero and say you're 24 years in the service doesn't matter because you abandoned your unit.
He did. He abandoned his unit.
That's a bunch of nonsense.
He was on stop loss. He was already notified that the unit was deploying, and he went behind his commander's back and retired.
You can't just do that. You know as well as I do, you can't do that.
Did. That's the point. That's the entire point of the exercise.
It's a fake thing. You know, could you do that? Do you think that you could do that?
Depends on how much political clout I have. And believe me, when you are that high up and you just won a primary, you have tremendous political clout with the state and the state government.
And when has the Army ever?
What's that?
When has the Army? And thank everybody. Thank you for your service, by the way, and everybody else is listening that served. But I want to talk to Army people right now who understand. You are never without a leader. Okay, your date of rank and date. You're as soon as that sergeant major said, okay, you're no longer qualified to be a sergeant major, you're getting out as the E8, okay, boom. There's somebody else that stepped up.
Yes, there's somebody else. There's somebody else that stepped up. There's somebody else that was put into that slot.
To sit there and suggest that they put this leaderless unit downrange is just a bunch of nonsense. It really is.
Well, here's the thing. All right. Now, I don't know how much of this you've been watching tonight. But we just went over. Okay. There are DOD provisions for National Guard and Reserve that you may run, even if you're on deployment orders, you may run for political office and still be in the National Guard. At that point, if you have the permission of the Department of Defense, you'll be moved into a non-deployment status, transferred. Therefore, he could have kept his contract, completed the sergeant major school, stayed in rank for 2 years, gotten out in September 2007, and retired as a command sergeant major. Officially. There was no fucking excuse for going around his chain of command, bypassing his chain of command, and then submitting retirement papers and being accepted. There was no fucking excuse for it, Chuck. None whatsoever.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it works that way at all. I think that
that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. He bypassed the chain of command. There is documents. There are letters from. There's letters from the chain of command.
Okay, again, he spent how many years? 24 years. After 24 years of service, you're eligible to get out whenever you want, pretty much. It's not like
except when there's a stop loss.
Well, there was no stop loss at that time.
There was a stop loss on that unit. That unit was notified. That unit was notified that they are deploying. That unit became a black hole.
What year did that?
You got sucked into that unit. You did not get out until that deployment was over.
Okay, what unit? What year did he? What year was his unit supposed to deploy? 2005.
2005.
That stop loss was over because I was able to get out of the military in 2005. So all that stuff happened years ago, and then the stop loss was removed. I got out in 2005, and I felt like I abandoned my unit. Mm-hmm. And I was reassured, no, you're not. You're getting out. And I completed my, and I feel like this whole conversation.
Right. I understand.
Feeling guilty as fucking hell. And that's what makes me like confused and angry because, look, it's not about me, but you start to reflect on your own, your own time and service when you hear about shit like this, and it really just fucking pisses me off because now I'm sitting there second guessing. Well, did I abandon my soldiers, even though I was just a buck sergeant, an E5? Did I fucking say, all right, guys, well, it was fun, but now the stop loss is removed. I'm going to continue on getting out of the military March of 2005.
Okay.
And I re-enlisted. I re-enlisted after September 11th for 3 years in March of 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay. So when you re-enlist in the National Guard or Army Reserve or whatever, they discharge you that day, and then they reinstate you that same day, if that makes any sense. So you'll get literally a fucking document that says honorable discharge or discharge or whatever, and then a re-enlistment certificate.
Yeah, a re-enlistment for the inactive reserve. Yes.
No. For not inactive reserve. I was active duty at the time, so and I re-enlisted tax-free in Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
I weaseled that one. But yeah, I mean, I was on a legitimate mission. It wasn't like I was doing fraudulent bullshit,
right.
Like the Air Force or something like that all the time. But no, seriously, this is a side note here. I was a part of an investigation that was not the target of an investigation, but investigating this Air Force member, true story now, and he was putting himself on TDY from Ramstein.
Right.
And he was putting himself on TDY to go to Incirlik Air Force Base in Turkey. And when he would go down there, he would buy shit tons of gold and shotguns and stuff like that and ship them back to the States. And they were on to him that he was using his position to enrich himself, which you can't do that, Johnny. You can't.
Well, it's called black marketeering, and yeah. I think I can admit this now. I'm sure that the statute of limitations has passed on this. But I paid my rent. I paid my rent with class 5 materials. Or I'm sorry, class 6 materials. And that was a bottle of Jack Daniels and a jar of peanut butter a month. I know I'm a horrible person. But
I sorry to be such a dick about this, but it just makes me really irritated.
Here's the thing, Chuck. Okay, I understand your irritation. I've been irritated by this for now 2 days. All right. I went.
No, it's been longer than that. You called up and raising hell on your own
on Saturday. Yeah. But yeah, it kind of bothered me. I also knew the controversy around it, but I didn't know half of the facts. All right. Now I have more facts, and now we're talking about those facts. And look. There's no way in hell I'm voting for Harris or Walz to begin with. We know this. We understand this. Let's drop that off the table.
Yeah, because according to Donald Trump, Tim Walz is just really heavy into the LGBTQ thing. He's just really deep into it.
Where did he say that?
Oh, he said.
Where did he say that? He didn't say that last night.
Donald Trump said that at one of his Mar-a-Lago press conferences. He's like, okay, he's way into the.
All right, fine, he is. So what? All right, that is an answer. That's an ancillary thing, and that's off the topic of what we're discussing.
Why,
that's off the topic of what we're discussing.
Well, okay, it isn't. But it is, because see, what I see also is this. It's really kind of fascinating how some people will vote against their own best interest when it comes to their.
How is this wallet. Guy? How is a guy who has embellished his record, and we haven't even gotten to the embellishments yet.
Embellished his record? Are you kidding me? What about Donald Trump?
We're not talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about Tim Walz.
Right, because it would be too ridiculous too. You're right. We can't do that because that
we're not comparing apples and oranges right now. We're talking about one singular person. If you want to go ahead and bastardize the conversation and bring outside issues into it, fine. That's up to you. But I'm not going to allow it. Because guess what? Guess what? This is the Raw with Henry and Miss Rob. It's not the Raw with Chuck and Miss Rob. Well, it could be. It should be. I feel, because honestly, I felt you've been part of the program for years, but it's not.
Well, that's fine, and I appreciate my status as a pain in the ass caller.
Well, and here's the thing. Here is the thing. All right. I have always appreciated your input. Always have and always will. Because you bring a unique perspective to things. You really do. And you sometimes you actually make me have to sit back and think about things for a second before I, tell you you're
I'm full of shit.
No, just a crazy sack of shit. I mean, you're not necessarily full of shit. I mean, you're no more full of shit than I am.
So, and one of the things I wanted to bring up too is just the level of it really is dishonest with some people that are talking about this in media. For example, I'm going to name them right now, and I hope you don't get mad. But there's this moron that broadcasts out of Portland, and the older he gets, the more crazier he gets. His name is Lars Larson.
Hey, man, I thought that was your favorite show next to mine.
No, it's not. Okay. I can't take it. Sometimes I would, have you ever listened to something? I'm like, fuck.
No, I do not. I don't put myself through that. So anyway, but then again, I have to listen to my own show. So there you go.
Well, that's different. But, Lars Larson sitting there going, he said he was a sergeant major, and he wasn't. He got out as a staff sergeant. And I go, what the fuck? Staff sergeant? Does this guy even know the difference between?
I understand that, and there's a lot of
then he went on. This is how much Lars understands.
I'm sorry.
He said, "No, this is how much Lars understands." And there's tons of these people out there that are like, oh, they're just talking heads, but they're repeating stuff or saying stuff they don't understand. Okay, and then I call his ass up on record, and I go, you should be ashamed of yourself. He didn't get out as a staff sergeant. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He got out as a staff sergeant. And then I said, I said, Lars, you wouldn't know the difference between. I wanted to say you wouldn't know the difference between a senior and a junior NCO who was fucking your ass.
No,
but I didn't say that.
I said, no, Chuck, come on, man.
I said. I didn't say that. I said you wouldn't know the difference between a senior NCO and a junior NCO.
It's the size and the texture. That's the difference.
Right. If it was, if your life depended on it. Well, what do you mean by that? He said. I go, and then he started to sit there and try to talk over me and everything like that. And I just hung up. And he goes, "See, that's what I hate about his phone calls."
Well, here's the thing. This is what I love about your phone calls. Okay, you're willing to argue with me, and that's fine. Yeah. I encourage the discourse. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a choice right now. You can either hang up or you can go on hold.
I'll call back. I want to call back and see if some other retard wants to talk to you.
Well,
me.
I'm some other retard. That's only Henry. Henry's the only retarded one. And by the way, if you cannot, he's at council. He's doing his civic duty. So we can't give him too much hell about doing the civic duty. But you guys have a pseudo campaign going. The long break Wallace ticket.
Yeah, it could happen.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. Between the actual candidates, I'm considering writing you in.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. We need some yard signs. I feel like
it's a little late for that, and you don't have quite enough money to canvass the United States, but that's okay.
You don't have any cardboard with the spray paint, really make it look as shitty as possible and pathetic, like it's a half-assed yard sale sign or something.
I'll tell you what. You have a computer, right?
I have access to a computer.
Well,
yeah.
Actually, it would probably be better on your phone. You have a little paint thing on your phone, right? Or you can download one. Yeah. Okay, just open up Paint, all right, and use your finger and create a meme. Vote, right in long break Wallace for president. and I will post that every single day. Okay, I will post that every single day on all my social media accounts from here till the election. I'll
try to find something funny. Thank you. I'll try to find something clever to do that. I got an idea here, and I'll stay on hold. So I just wanted to let you know the final. My final deal with this Lars Larson thing, because it's remotely interesting, mildly interesting.
Well, at least to you. All right, Chuck, hang on. It is the Raw. I'm your host of the most of this, Dan Hansen. We'll be back after these messages. Hang tight.
Time Call Taxi is here for all your transportation needs, whether it's a ride to work, the store, or anywhere. Time Call Taxi is here for you. Call 928-763-1010, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Going out to paint the town red? Call Time Call Taxi and get to and from your fun in a timely and safe manner. Call Time Call Taxi, 763-1010. That's 763-1010.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Oh,
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it gonna be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way! Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Okay, this is the target house.
Yeah, but Jimmy, what about this here sticker?
What sticker?
Right here on the door. These premises protected by Southwest Alarm Service. 763-4331 and 753-2333.
That's just a sticker. One of these companies is going all over town giving these things out to everybody. Forget about it. If you're ever going to be any good in the burglar business, you're going to have to learn these things. Now, we're inside. You get the stuff down here, and I'll get the stuff upstairs. You know, cash, jewelry.
Jimmy, what time is it?
It's about 1 a.m. Why?
Because it looks like the sun came up outside.
You in the house. You're completely surrounded. Come out with your hands in the air.
Just a sticker, huh, Jimmy?
Southwest Alarm Service, 753-2333 or 763-4331. Because real security is more than a yard sign or a sticker. Call Southwest Alarm Service today.
Southwest Alarm has the only 24-hour locally monitored central station.
The opinions voiced on the Raw are those of the hosts and the callers and not necessarily represent the views and opinions of KTOX and Ruben Broadcasting or its advertisers. The opinions should be considered as the ramblings of raving lunatics.
And you know I'm
You're
a fucking
listening
lunatic.
to The Raw with Henry and Miss Raw, brought to you by Pirate Web Radio Productions, Ruben Broadcasting, along with KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
We the people, and all we do, reserve the right to scream, fuck you!
Yeah.
Wear your mask, take your pills, now a whole generation's mentally ill. Man, fuck Fauci. But COVID's near, it's coming to town. We gotta act quick, shut our borders down. Joe Biden does, the media embraces. Big Doc does it, and they call them racist. We the people. Let's go
Biden. And welcome back. It is Raw. I'm your host, most of this Dan Hansen. Of course, we have Chuck Wallace on the phone, or he may still be on mute. I don't know. We'll see when he comes back.
Yeah,
you're there, Chuck. My God,
I'm eating chicken chow mein or chicken chop suey like a good communist kid.
We knew you were a commie, but that's okay. Anyway, so you were telling us a story about Lars Larson and his absolute has absolutely no idea how ranks work.
Well, he totally didn't account for the just real quick here. He, in his rant and everything like that about Tim Walz insisting that he got out as a staff sergeant, he had to issue an apology and into his correction for the last 3 days of his broadcast. Oh, I'm sorry. And then to top it all off, he didn't realize there was a rank called Sergeant First Class, which is an E7 between Master Sergeant and Staff Sergeant. I mean, the guy. And this is the guy that's putting out information that people sit there.
Now, hang on. Let's give him a little bit of slack. Okay, did he ever serve?
No.
Okay, then he's just an a-hole who thought who thought he knew something that
exactly.
did not. Okay, and that's fine. That's why I chose this video tonight, because here's a person who is actually a serving member of the New York National Guard, is a drill instructor, deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan a couple of times as active Army, and we're just going through this for information only. Okay. And that's fine. Guess what? What has been my philosophy throughout all of my entire career that you've been listening to me? What's my philosophy?
That's thanks for putting me on the spot, by the way, but would it hurt your feelings? Would it hurt your feelings to say which one? My
main broadcast responsibility, my main broadcast philosophy is this, and it can be summed up in just a few words, is that I try to give accurate information, both sides, good or bad, it doesn't matter, both sides, good or bad, and allow you, the listener or the viewer or whatever the fuck you want to call it on this goddamn internet thing, which I completely don't understand anymore, give you the opportunity to make up your own fucking mind. Even if you completely disagree with me, that's fine. I am going to respect the fact that you disagree with me. You want to know why? It's not it's not particularly because I like you or love you or respect you. It's because you're a fellow human being. You're a fellow American. And one of the things that really drives me nuts, absolutely fucking drives me nuts, especially with hardcore right and left people. I'm not going to name names, but my fellow Americans are not my fucking enemies. They're not. They never have been, never will be. I may disagree with you. I may yell and scream and raise the middle finger and say, you know what, Chuck, you are absolutely out of your fucking mind. I'm not talking to you right now, and hang up and then take your call 5 minutes later. I don't care. I don't care. You are still my fellow American. You are still my neighbor. You are still my friend. You are still a countryman. And for that, you will have my undying love and respect.
Well, thank you. I think we get sometimes, not you and I, but just in general speaking, you're right, though. We have people that want to insist on the other side of the enemy.
Mm-hmm. And this is where we've got the split. This is where right now I hate to say this, but this country is in peril. And I don't like it at all, because there are two sides here that are willing to take up violence. Two sides that are willing to take up violence, and I don't like that, because I'm stuck in the middle, because I am not willing to take up violence.
I'm not either.
Defending the United States, yes, as a whole, absolutely. But taking up violence against my fellow citizens because of a political fucking idea? Are you out of your goddamn mind? No way.
Well, some of these people, they feel like they are defending the United States when they have these homicidal and grandiose visions of warfare on their fellow countrymen, and whatever. delusional.
I'm sure they've made level 3 combat medic in whatever that fucking video game is.
Oh, combat Battlefield or whatever.
Tour of Duty or something like that. I don't know.
Call of Duty. Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Well, a lot of these people, you sit there and wonder if they have enough heart medication for them to run around and go and do what they're,
I sure the fuck don't. Dude, I spent 8 days in the fucking woods. 8 days in the woods. Do you know what I did for 8 days in the woods? I took short walks down the hill. I came back up the hill and took a nap because I was that fucking exhausted. I shit you not. I read 1.5 books a day up there.
Wow.
1.5 books a day. And between reading and sitting on my ass and cooking dinners for two really great kids, and then my grandkids when they came up, and my other daughter and her husband, I had a fantastic time. My phone didn't work right. I got very little news. I got very little this. The only way I could go and actually get news, and I made this mistake Saturday. I will admit it. I made the mistake Saturday. That's what prompted me to call in Saturday, is I turned on Fox News. And got
you were going to go smoke. You're going to go smoke cigarettes in your car with the windows rolled up.
Oh, fuck no. No, fuck no. I was tired of reading, and it was a little chilly that day. So I decided I was going to go, throw on the auxiliary and throw on the radio and listen. I should have stuck with the music channel. I really should have. Would have been better. Do you know what the first fucking story I heard was?
Tim Walz.
No.
On Fox News, it's hard to say what hour.
Hard to say. Well, it was early morning. It was like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, the Russian Ukrainian incursion into Russia?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I don't know then.
It was about the new party drug, pink cocaine.
Oh. Yeah, that does sound like a Fox News story.
Well, it's a little bit more than just a Fox News story. It's a little bit more than just a Fox News story. I ended up having to go down the hill later that day to grab some milk because my milk froze. And the kids had wanted French toast. Okay, fine. I'll make French toast. But the milk froze solid. I mean, it was a solid chunk of ice. So
what the hell? Where was this? You have a refrigerator? How does that work? A mobile refrigerating unit?
No, man. Fuck, dude. Look, I didn't live in a tent. I lived in a cabin, a fully furnished cabin. Had a heater, had a refrigerator, had a stove, had a sink, had a bathroom with a shower. The only thing I really didn't have was internet or communications.
Did it get that cold up there where it froze overnight?
No. The refrigerator was that sucky that, where I put it, it froze. Okay, so you've experienced that, where you have different zones in your refrigerator and it froze. Well, I put it in the back because I wanted to have access to the hot dogs and the butter. Okay, it was a mini fridge. It wasn't a full size fridge. What's that?
You fucked up so bad on that. You really fucked up.
I fucked that up. Do you hear me denying it? No. I am at fault for the goddamn milk freezing.
Damn.
But I will also blame them for turning the refrigerator off to begin with.
Oh.
and me having to fiddle with it just to get it cool so my stuff wouldn't defrost or go bad. Look.
Well, it sounds like a fantastic time.
Oh, dude, really, you don't know. I honestly, I wish I'd had all of my friends there. This includes you, because you would absolutely love this. You would absolutely fallen in love with this area. There's no fishing, so you would probably be kind of bummed out about that. But it was quiet. It was peaceful. The air was fresh. It wasn't 150 gazillion degrees. I don't think it topped 92 while I was up there on that mountain. It was
nice.
Oh, absolutely, it was nice. You know, I'm sitting here going like, oh man, this is great. Where's my jacket? In the morning, and it's just a light jacket, just a little cardigan that I like to wear. But you know, that aside, okay, I have tinnitus. Thank you, United States Army. Thank you for the gun bunnies who decided to have a fire exercise while I was asleep underneath your cannon. Thank you very much. Fuck you all.
Wow.
Oh yeah, that kind of sucked. You know, but I wasn't directly underneath it. I was actually out in front of it in a foxhole, in a fire base. But they decided to have a gunnery exercise. Boom! Oh, geez. And then it just I'm sure you've been around firearms without hearing protection.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a howitzer going off over your head.
God.
Yeah, that.
It seems like that would make your ears bleed.
Yeah. No, I was far enough away, but I got the hi Megan. I got the my daughter just got back home from Walmart, but no, I was far enough away. I wasn't in the compression zone, but I was full on in the goddamn noise zone. Boom, you know. Yeah, not cool, man.
That happened to me. This was a self-inflicted type of a thing. I didn't realize. So, I was on. I went to Bosnia one time, and we were out. We linked up with some EOD guys that wanted to get rid of a bunch of ordnance that was found at a cache in someone's house or whatever. And we had, RPGs and rifle grenades. And
oh, how fun.
AK-47 pineapple grenades. All this shit.
Seriously, World War II white phosphorus grenades.
We didn't have white phosphorus grenades, but we had the old pineapple grenades, like straight up something you'd see on a Vietnam or Korea.
Those were white phosphorus, weren't they?
Oh, okay.
I thought those were white phosphorus grenades. You know, the ones that look like a pineapple. The fragmentation grenades look like a freaking baseball.
Oh no, the pineapple grenades were still fragmentation grenades.
Yeah,
but I think the white phosphorus has like a red stripe on it.
Okay.
Or
all right, I don't know. All right,
So, anyway, we were throwing these fucking grenades, and the time came to fire off the RPG, and so the guy out there was telling me how to load it and everything like that, and I said, I don't need fucking ear protection. Does an Iraqi have fucking ear protection when he's shooting at an American Humvee? Probably not. He probably has some fucking cigarette butts in his ear or something like that. I don't know. So, I took aim, and I had a little shorty on the end of my thing, but one of those little snub things, and boom, boom. I was like, oh, man. And it felt like stuff was coming out of my ear, my right ear, but there was nothing coming out of it. It was because of all the, I said, it's probably.
And now for the rest of your life, you hold your phone to the other ear. Yeah, I understand.
Nah, I mean, I can feel it, sitting here talking about it. I can notice the difference in how strong my right ear is compared to my left, but that was a dumbass fucking mistake.
Well, of course, and then going to sleep downrange from frickin' artillery was another dumbass mistake that I can blame on command because they said rest there and I rested here. You know, fuck, man, I was an E4. I knew how to sleep any fucking where. All I had to do is stop moving for 5 minutes. Boom, I'm out cold.
Yeah,
something you just pick up in the Army, but you know, neither here nor there. But the thing is, it was so quiet up there. My tinnitus was so loud. I was like, Jesus Christ! All I hear is the buzzing in my ears. And
yeah,
and it was absolutely awesome. It really totally was. And then of course, at night when the sun went down finally around 8 o'clock or so, the crickets were so loud. The forest came alive with all sorts of sounds. You could hear mice, you could hear crickets, you could hear all sorts of stuff, going all around. One mouse got stuck in the trash can.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, it kind of sucked. I looked down there with the flashlight, didn't see him at first, and kept hearing this, squealing and rustling around. Like, is there a bear or something out? Well, there's no bears up there, but is there something that's going to come out and eat me? And I finally looked back in there and I saw this little mouse, his little eyes looking up at me. I'm like, dude, are you going to keep shining that flashlight in my eyes? It's kind of bright.
Wow.
I let him be. I didn't try to rescue him. I didn't try to do anything. Frankly, I didn't want to be bit by a wild mouse, but, it was an absolute wonderful time. I mean, I got to spend time with some of the most important people on the planet, my daughters and my grandkids. And, dude, it refreshed me. It really did. It really refreshed me. I needed it. I needed the break. And, here a little later, I'll share a couple of pictures. And last night was absolutely, the last night there, was absolutely glorious. We got visited by more than just, birds and squirrels. We got visited by an elk and deer. So, it was the culmination of the perfect fucking week. It really was. And I was literally moved to tears coming back to Bullhead. I didn't want to come. I did not want to come because I knew I would be having this stupid ass conversation tonight. I just knew it. but no, I have to come back and rejoin civilization. Okay, come back to the technology, come back to the video games, come back to this, come back to that, and get on with my life. Okay, I had my vacation. I wasn't ready to come back from vacation. I really wasn't.
Right.
I was enjoying it far too fucking much, and makes me honestly. I considered retiring from radio altogether. I said, I enjoyed doing nothing for an entire fucking week and not feeling guilty about it. I enjoyed being away from technology enough where I had to travel 10 miles just to get a signal on my cell phone to download a new book so I could drive back up and sit and read it.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a time well spent there.
It was heaven. It was absolutely fucking heaven, Chuck. It really was absolutely fucking heaven. And I know you've experienced it as well. You go out there in some pretty shady places where you don't get self-service, and you end up doing what? Fishing or just sitting around on your ass and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, doing stuff that I did when I was a kid, picking, I don't know, berries or making bow and arrows from,
I thought about it as well. They have a lot of walnut out there, or not walnut, but oak out there. So I could cut down this tree. Nobody would know but me. I could cut down this tree and I could sit there and I could whittle out a recurve out of this walnut or this, not this walnut, but this oak. And nobody would know, right?
I don't know. It sounds like they have, somebody got popped for smoking out there.
Yeah,
So it sounds like
that was my son-in-law. Yeah, they would have figured me out, but I was just okay, whatever, But I didn't do it, but it was a good thought. I mean, it was a fun thought, and I sat there and I said, well, exactly how would I do this? Number one, I don't have a whittling knife with me. number two, I don't have an axe or a saw to cut down the tree.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a little bit difficult, but I do have a really sturdy steak knife. So yeah,
cutting down an oak tree with a steak knife.
Absolutely, man. I mean, go total caveman on it with a steak knife. Absolutely, fucking literally. Kidding me.
He'll be up there till May.
Honestly, at that point, I wouldn't have given. I wouldn't have given a shit. I seriously would not have given a shit. Now, have you ever been to Wyoming?
No,
okay.
No, I have not. Well, wait, yeah, I have, but not. I haven't really got a chance to explore Wyoming, but
right.
I've driven through there.
Okay, well, along I-80, you have Laramie, and then you have Cheyenne. Directly in the middle between their two is a national park called Vidaboo National Park. I'm sure you can look it up online and see all kinds of pictures. The geology of the Wallapies, where I was at, and Vidaboo National Park is almost identical.
Okay,
and that's why I feel so much at peace up there, because the Vidaboo National Park was my fucking playground. I mean, seriously, we would go up there with friends, with family, constantly, and fuck around in that national park. And it was, I grew up there. We climbing rocks and, building campfires and having picnics and camping and whatnot and so forth. It was my playground. And this place, even though of course it wasn't rough camping. Okay. I was in a cabin with a refrigerator and a heater and a bed and the whole 9 yards, more glamping than anything else. But the geology of the area, the peacefulness of the area, the wildlife in the area was virtually identical to this national park in Wyoming. So yeah. So it was nostalgic at the same time as it was just getting the fuck away from things, man. I'll tell you what, unplugging for a week is kind of hard, because I was jonesing to get on the internet. I was jonesing to play a video game for about 3 days, and then that just stopped. Now, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going home. No. it was that kind of itch you get when you really want a cigarette.
Yeah, I think that that's what addicts do.
Yeah. I look, I admit I'm a news junkie. I'm an internet junkie. I'm an information junkie. Yeah, I do not deny that. I do not deny that. And let me tell you what. The minute I got the car unloaded yesterday and the food put away and a lot of the camping equipment put away, I came in, I sat down and I started researching. I started reading, catching up on the news. I went back an entire week and started reading articles and this and that and everything else. And then of course, I don't know if you listened last night to Trump and Elon Musk.
I listened to it. For not the entirety of the conversation, but yeah, I did listen to it.
Okay. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that because it was off script. It was a conversation. You got to hear Trump in the raw. You got to hear Elon Musk in the raw, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like listening in on a private conversation. Not that I agreed with everything that both of them said. I probably disagreed more with what they said than agreed with, but that's me. Okay, I'm an asshole. I know I am, and it's my perfect right to agree or disagree with anything anybody says. But I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed some of the Trumpisms. I enjoyed some of the Elon-isms. I enjoyed it. it was entertaining in a voyeuristic kind of way. If you understand what I mean.
Sure do. Yeah, of course.
Have you ever, I know you're not that old, but have you ever heard of a party line?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. The problem with the party line is everybody in your block is on the same line. You don't discuss private matters because you know somebody down there is just listening. Absolutely just listening to every word you say. You know, it's usually your local gossip. Well, hello, welcome to the Mr. Rob Hansen radio program, or the Raw. Okay, I'm a fucking guy. You know what I haven't done, and I'm surprised I haven't gotten. I forgot to send Henry the link.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna. Oh, Henry, I'm so sorry.
Is he back home now?
He probably is. You know, it's not like he's complaining. I'm just, you know, just realized I hadn't sent him the link for tonight.
Oh,
and I just sent it to him, so he'll get that in a minute. But no, it was good to disconnect. It really was. But you know, coming back, I fell right back into the habits immediately. I found I couldn't sleep last night for a number of reasons. Number one, it is a hell of a lot hotter here than it is up there in the woods, and a shit ton noisier because I have a AC unit running in the background. And yeah, it was, I had to recondition myself back to this environment. And and honestly, it kind of fucking sucked. I'm ready to go back.
That means you belong there. That's
oh,
I don't believe.
I know. I know this. I could live perfectly happy as a hermit on the top of a mountain.
I don't understand how you all survive down in that hellhole. I really don't. It seems like it's such a strange environment. And as far as you can't do anything during the day.
Sure you can.
During summertime.
Sure you can.
Well, unless you want to run the risk of getting a heat injury or something like that.
Well, you know, how do you undo that? You drink lots of water. Okay. Number one, you hydrate and you stay hydrated. That is the entire thing. And yeah, you can work outside in 115 degrees as long as you're consistently drinking water. Yeah, you're sweating like a fucking pig, and your clothes are going to be all salt stained and sweat stained. But you know, at the end of the day, you're fucking sore, you're tired, you're sunburned, and you got this huge fucking check in your pocket. Because
they need to pay people double what they make.
They pretty much do when it comes down to outdoor work. But the thing is, the thing is, we also learned that that we treat the summer here like we would the winters up north. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're sure, you go outside, you do things, you play around, and you come back in and you warm up. Well, here we go outside, we play around, and then we come back in at the hottest part of the day and stay cool and cool down and continue to rehydrate. One of the things that attracted me to the area to begin with was all the stores, Safeway and Walmart and Smith's were 24 hours. Okay. You would find people, I mean, crowds of people shopping in the middle of the night in the summer.
I don't doubt that.
Well, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen anymore because now they all close at 10 o'clock. But the busiest times for them now are just before closing and very early in the morning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just to escape the heat. And, you know, it's mostly, you know, we're a retirement community. It's for the most part. And it's people just trying to escape the fucking heat. You know, I don't want to go home with a melted ice cream at noon. I'll go home and have a partially thawed ice cream at 8 a.m. as opposed to, a pint of milk.
Yeah, it seems like you'd have to have like permanent coolers in your car or something like that if you wanted to transport. Maybe it might even be advantageous to have some dry ice on standby in case
we have those those ice packs. But here's the problem. If you forget your cooler in the car just for a day, that cooler is no longer a cooler. That cooler is a heater. And it takes anywhere upwards of 8 hours for it just to get to room temperature with ice in it.
So bring a cooler and then bake cookies in it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. But anyway, Chuck, it's been great talking to you, my friend. It really has. Thank you for the story. Thank you for listening to me go on. But I do want to finish this. And all
right, we'll talk later.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the call. Do appreciate it. 928-476-0331. 928-476-0331 is the number to join the conversation. We're gonna continue on this now. Where we were with this is he did not sign his original DD-214 because he just up and freaking left. At least that's what it appears to be. But let's continue on with this.
His retirement paperwork says unavailable for signature. Now, I'm not sure if that's his DD-214 or if it's additional retirement paperwork that goes along with the DD-214, which we have. And for those of you that aren't aware, a DD-214 is like your end of service paperwork forms. So when you get out, bing, you got the finalized printout sheet, the DD-214 of your entire military service. Proves that you served. So I say again, his paperwork stated he was unavailable for signature. And because he wasn't available, he ended his career as a command sergeant major, which is, once again, strange because he didn't do the things he was supposed to do in order to retain the rank. So let's get into that. You can end a contract early. There's ways to do it and still have an honorable discharge.
Yeah.
One of the ways to get out of your contract a little bit early that I personally know about is that if you're going to school, hey, trooper, you get out in October 1st, but you've started classes in your civilian school August 30th. You can get a 30-day early release, go out and start classes. Now, this is very different. So I have no idea how you would get out 6 months before or 2.5 years before your contract ends unscathed with an honorable discharge. I don't know. Please tell me in the comments. Now, in that, early release thing, you would still have to be there every step of the way in order to sign the paperwork and get out early and have the battalion commander sign off on it and take it to so-and-so and get it all done, stamped and approved. Doesn't make sense. If you're leaving and everything's copacetic. If you left and everything was okay, how do you not just stop by and be like, oh man, I can't believe it's been 2 months since I got out. The trail is real busy, the campaign trail a little bit, but hey, I'm running for this fucking district that I live in anyway, in the state that I live in. Why wouldn't I be available for a signature? That is a very big red flag. And on top of that,
big time red flag.
You know that you're failing to meet the stipulations to retain that rank of command sergeant major and that you would have to be reduced back to master sergeant, would you not, for the sake of integrity, make sure that the paperwork was done completely for integrity? The reduction in rank after a long time, when, if I'm not mistaken, with several years, is a huge red flag. It feels like somebody broke their contract and left and didn't want to sign anything because he didn't want anybody to notice that, by the way, he didn't meet the stipulations that he was supposed to retain command sergeant major rank. So he sneaks out, refuses to come in and sign any paperwork. Nobody catches that he's supposed to be a master sergeant, and his benefits that he's receiving will be command sergeant major. That feels like you're intentionally cheating a system. Well, luckily the system found it out and then corrected it, like I said, a while later. I forget how many years it was. All of those things together just scream
6 months later.
Not
It wasn't years.
good. And finally, civilians might look at us military members and be like, well, so then did he serve as a command sergeant major? Was he a
Yes.
command sergeant major? Or
Yes.
is this a lie?
He was.
I still don't really understand what you're saying, AC. I feel you. And I talked to a sergeant major to try and get a better idea of how to put this all together.
This
He was
is
put
kind
in
of
that position.
important. Take a
with
listen.
contingencies. You have to do A and B in order to get C, your rank. And he was getting paid that way, and he had the rank on his chest, and he was in command. He was there. He was filling that position. But because he didn't complete everything, it was taken away. Now, you're still saying that still doesn't really answer my question. So was he or wasn't he? Let me help you out a little bit more. Now, I asked a sergeant major, in fact, retired Sergeant Major Jason Jaskula. He runs the KIA Memorial Ruck March. You should all join me. It's going to be August 17th. I'll put some information right here for you. Either way, sorry, off topic. I said, what do you think of this whole thing? And then I sent him a photo of this. This
is a challenge
was
coin.
Then Congressman Walz coin, military coin that you usually give out for attaboys. After showing him this coin, I asked him, what do you think of this? He goes, his response, I think it is unethical. He was a conditionally appointed sergeant major, but never earned the rank, and literally no one would understand that except for a few military members and or sergeant majors. No one would call him out of it because I can't say that. That would be unprofessional. It's like a private in basic training that becomes the platoon leader, and he gets to wear sergeant stripes on his shoulders. But then he goes home and shows pictures of it, and then people think that he's a sergeant. As an actual retired sergeant major, it pisses me off and minimizes what I actually did. Feel free to use the quote as well that I spoke with sergeant majors, and they all call him never mind. So here's a photo of the coin that he gave out, and here's a photo in comparison that a sergeant major edited to show us all exactly how he feels. I think the best way to say it is if you gave it up, you don't get to claim it. If you failed out of Special Forces selection, you don't get to tell everybody that you were a Green Beret, even though you were attached to 1st Special Forces Group or whatever during your training. You're not. You didn't earn it all the way. You fell just short, but that still means that you didn't quite make it. So there you have it. That's why a lot of people in the military are, I would say, a little irritated, but I think that's an understatement. On one, potentially, leaving your unit as they're about to deploy, saying, hey, I talk all this great game, but when, push comes to shove, you're gone. Not good luck. Best way to support the channel is get yourself a t-shirt at angry-cops.com. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave a comment. Tell me what you think of this. If you know a sergeant major, send him this video and be like, what's going on with this? What do you think? If you're a first sergeant, if you're a freaking master sergeant, send it to a colonel.
Hell,
send it
I
to
was
your
a
officer
fucking
friends.
E4
Be
and
like,
I'm pissed off
If
about
Sergeant
it.
Major did this, would it be bad? Get their
Yes,
opinion on it.
it would be bad.
Side note, the uncensored version of this and a couple extra minutes of me talking about how I really feel personally is on Pepperbox. So if you want to see that,
well,
you go ahead and click below.
I don't have a pepper box, and I won't do that. But anyway, that's it. That's it. Now, my personal opinion of this is Walz is a shitheel. All right, he's trying to claim something he did not. There is videos of him claiming to have been in Baghran, Iraq, when he never was. The closest he ever came to Iraq or Afghanistan was Italy. There are videos of him testifying to Congress about PTSD. Not sure how you get PTSD on a deployment to support troops while you're in Italy. That's okay. Neither here nor there. But the inconsistencies is what bothers me. The inconsistencies with his service record and what he says and what is there bothers the hell out of me. This is somebody who is going to be if elected in November, going to be a heartbeat away or an impeachment away from being president of the United States and commander in chief. Using his rationale, you shouldn't claim to be a veteran if you were injured in EIT and, or did you mean AIT and got out, chaptered out? No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know your what you're referring to, Chuck. I really don't. The thing of it is, all right, he did not complete his term of service. He retired early. Okay, fine. That happened. We cannot change that. We cannot go back and say, hey, you owe us 3 more years, pal. He got out. He's done. He was eventually reduced in rank back to E8, which is fine. But once again, he once again, mad respect to him. Hi, Henry. How you doing, my friend?
Glad good. I didn't get your.
I know. I sent it late, and I apologize. Yeah,
the thing.
Pajingas.
Okay.
I don't understand.
Chingas de madre. Let me go. Let me go get my other glasses on. It's Spanish. It's
all righty. Okay, thingamajig. Okay. Anyway, Henry's here, so he'll be joining us. You don't get to claim a rank that you're not. Even though I was an E4, I was a specialist. I was never a corporal. I was never a junior NCO. Oh, okay. Basic training. Okay. Gotcha. EIT. Initial entry training. Yeah, no, you don't. But like I said, just as you were sitting down, Henry, mad respect for him for doing 24 years in the National Guard. Mad respect to him for that. And honestly, if he had claimed that and nothing else, I would have no problem with this whatsoever. I mean, good God, 24 years. I wanted to do 24 years. I wanted to retire from the military. That was my goal when I was in the Army. I wanted to retire from the Army. But, gravity and God had other plans. Evidently. And I'm not unhappy about how my life went forward. But, my plan was to make the Army my career. It was a good career. It was a good home. It was, I was surrounded by people I could count on. I was taken care of, had a home. I didn't have to rent on the economy if I didn't want to. I could live in the barracks, even though that was a pain in the ass. I had to meet minimum qualifications. I had to be able to pass a PT test. I had to be able to, show up on time, do my job, attend schools, and hopefully advance in rank to where I could maintain my qualifications and stay in. But that's all bookwork, schools, stuff like that. You're eating an ice cream cone, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to get the wicked shits too because I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, good Lord. But anyway, with Tim Walz and his military career.
But you know what? I don't give a shit, but I will.
Oh yes, you will be. But with Tim Walz and his military career, okay, he has. I don't care if you're a pogue or you're whatever. 20 plus years in service is 20 plus years in service. Thank you.
My gosh, that's great. Yes, absolutely.
Thank
you for
you.
your service.
Awesome job, dude. Pat on the back for you. But when you start embellishing that career, you start claiming things that you are not. Yes, you got out as an E9. Technically. Because you sat in a command sergeant major's position conditionally. Now, you weren't here to understand what his conditions were. His conditions were that he complete a 2-year school of a command sergeant major school and then serve another 2 years as a command sergeant major in order to be able to keep that rank.
Okay.
Failing any of those, all right, you would either have been put out of the Army with an other than honorable, or reduced, or just reduced in rank. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
More likely just reduced in rank. You go back to being a master sergeant.
Well, that high
or a company
big
first
deal.
hit.
That's a high rank. That's a high rank.
Yeah, it still is a high rank. I mean, E8 is still pretty much up there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still with troops, and it's still with a hefty responsibility. But what's most irritating about this, Henry? All right, what's most irritating, and Chuck and I had a very lengthy conversation before you came in. That's why I forgot to send you the link, and I apologize.
That's okay. You know what? That was actually good, because I probably would have got lost in that conversation.
That's okay. It was an argument. He wanted to come on. Chuck. Anyway, I love Chuck, but the problem is, all right, is a lot of the media attention around it are getting the facts wrong.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that him?
Master Sausage doesn't carry the clout like the old man. See, it's like the general for the officer side. Birds aren't impressive as stars. No, you're right, Carl. Master Sausage. I imagine that that was an intentional in there. But still, 24 years. 24 years. I don't care if you'd come out honorably after 24 years as a buck sergeant or a corporal or a private first class. Right. As long as you did that,
24 years, damn,
you completed that. Fuck, mad props to you, man. Absolute mad props to you. You did that.
Get your retirement right down on the spot at 42 years old.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But it's
my brother kicked himself in the butt
when you start claiming things for years afterwards, afterwards, that you were something, you retired as something that you did not retire as.
Mm-hmm.
You got a problem. We got a problem.
Well, you know what? I'm 68 years old now, and I know people that I've been around, went to high school with, went to junior high school with, and know some of their friends too, that they kind of boast about what they were in life.
Okay,
where they went. Not military.
I understand. But the thing is, all right. we like to make ourselves look better than we are,
Right.
especially especially privately.
Yeah.
But when you start claiming things publicly for clout in a political arena,
Yeah, not good.
when you are in a position of trust, of leadership, of making policy,
and not for someone that's defending our country,
that is a whole nother kettle of fish.
I agree. I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
If you wanted to go down to the VFW and tell lies,
right?
And believe me, I've been to plenty of VFWs,
yeah.
and we sat around and we tell fucking lies all goddamn late, all day long.
I had some friends that went to Germany. They were in the army, and they talked about how much they smoked hash. Now that was honest. I smoked hash, went to the bars, went outside, and pissed on the curb.
Precisely. But you know, once again, Henry. Once again, it is a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how we present that. If we are
he's running for the second
if
highest office in the United States.
Exactly. So this is huge red flags in my mind. Now I'm a veteran. Why does this? I can understand why a civilian would say, "Why does this fucking matter anyway?"
Well, no, it does matter. No, I understand. Believe me.
I know you.
Even though I'm just a civilian, I understand.
I understand because you've had the facts explained to you time and time again.
But on the same sense, let's pay attention and not lose focus on who the fuck's the number one person running for the number one job.
Absolutely.
We don't need the distraction of somebody else. We need to focus on what the thing fuck is she doing.
It's the entire ticket. Okay, it's the entire ticket. It's the Harris Waltz ticket.
Of course.
It's the long break Wallace ticket.
And you're never gonna pick
Vance ticket.
You're never gonna pick
a whole package.
You're never gonna pick the utmost best, and you're never gonna get the utmost best on number one. You're not. We haven't for a long time.
No, we haven't. I mean, I challenge anybody, including Chuck out there, to call in at 928-476-0331 and tell me if their life is better now than it was 4 years ago.
Well, the last one I remember, and he wasn't perfect, was Reagan, and the one before that was Kennedy. And in between,
you skipped a bunch of presidents.
I did skip I'm talking about the great ones.
I
didn't see many great ones that I skipped. I seen some okay ones and I seen some shitty ones.
Yeah,
but I skipped a whole bunch. But those are the last great ones that I remember.
I understand. I do understand that, but you also have to understand this, all right, that each and every president, each and every vice president have left their stamp on this country.
Absolutely.
Good or ill. Good or ill.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's
go.
Chuck.
Let's see.
Ra, you're on the air.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Chuck.
Everybody. Hello.
Okay, so you've called to answer the question, is your life better now than it was 4 years ago?
Well, yes and no, and I'll tell you why. I do have to pay for a little bit. I do have to pay a little bit more for stuff, but I also got a raise. And secondly, I don't, during maybe it's just that the way I look at the world, and because I'm perceived as a left-wing nutcase or whatever, but
you're a conservative Democrat.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a conservative, fiscal conservative, social liberal, but
you're
independent.
So what you are is you're a goddamn libertarian like me.
I'm a middle of the roadkill son of a bitch. That's where.
There you anyway, go. Watch out for the next wheel. You don't want to die.
America was pretty fucking scary when Donald Trump was, riots and it was manufactured on the left and everything like that, but it was just, I can't help but to think that's probably part of the problem with how the election worked out. People were like, it was.
Chuck, let me ask you, who were promoting the riots? Was it people Kamala Harris that bailed out people? Was it like J.D. Vance that waited a long time before he called the National Guard? Who was it?
You're right. It was, and I said this in the early part of my opening remarks.
Not J.D. Vance. I'm sorry. I meant the other guy.
Yeah. No, the left wing, there's some ugly things that goes on in the left wing.
Mm-hmm.
But, with every action, there's a reaction, right?
Right.
And, so that's just what I see. I am, whether you disagree with COVID or agree with it or however you want to look at it, when you have a president who is giving mixed signals and allows his subordinate people out there in the media like Sean Hannity to say this is a fake issue or this is somehow fake, and people, and the biggest death toll are actually Fox News listeners, and then you start to think,
what are you referring to about COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
COVID was a big fucked up.
Most of the people died during the Biden administration.
Okay, most of the people in my community passed away at the height of it. There was like 350, maybe 400 people, more people than the yellow flu or yellow fever, fever, whatever the hell they called it.
Fever.
I hate that when I got.
Hey, we all been there.
I had to send her home and never be with her again.
Like scratch fever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
It's
just checking and making sure.
Winona or a big brown beaver.
Yeah,
but
Primus.
Anyway, so I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, okay.
Juicy Lucy and her triangular monster.
All these people that passed away during something that had these mixed signals have people that love them and might say, "Hey, you motherfucker, you killed my dad because he listens to Fox News and he's listening to Sean Hannity say this is a fake thing," and that stick. So the most people in my community, and we had people who were very attuned to that, saying, making radio commercials saying my conservative friends are dying out there, but this is a right-wing Republican mayor pro tem in Longview. He's no longer on the council, but he was remarking about how many people in his political, alignment passed away. And it was the Democrats that are scared of, I don't know. There was a lot of
Chuck, you know what? I know a lot of right wingers too that did die of the Rona too. Me personally, I didn't take any of the Fauci ouchies, and I didn't worry about it, and I did get it later on, and I refused to be in fear over it. Now, did I take precautions? Of course I did.
You don't have to yell.
Of course I did. I took precautions, because it was real.
Get your mic to you.
Because it was real.
There you go. Thank you.
It was real, and everybody knows it's real. What Donald Trump was getting is he was getting a lot of misinformation from Fauci, and then Dr. What's his name? Dr. Bill Gates. He got in there playing doctor and saying he's going to save the world, but with all his vaccines that they kicked him out of so many countries, because his vaccines were poison. And that's what Donald Trump had behind him. He had nothing else. There was nothing else. This was a new virus. This is something that was released all throughout the world, and nobody knew what the hell was going on.
The problem was, one of my very best friends here in Bullhead City ended up following his doctor's advice because he had a heart condition.
And get the ouchie.
And got the ouchie.
Yeah.
He ended up with COVID and died.
Yeah.
Ended up with COVID and died. You know, and this was 2 years, almost 2 years to the date after COVID came out.
Yeah, well, Fauci right now today has it again.
Yeah.
Has COVID again, and he's been vaccinated like 18,000 times.
Has he
14,000.
Has he really been vaccinated?
Exactly.
The thing is, do we know?
I
this
think
for
I think he
sure?
has because he keeps getting it.
Well,
And anybody that keeps getting it, I see they are the most prone to getting it again.
No,
because the people that are taking the vaccine. I know people that have, people that haven't. People that have, when they do get it, they get it worse than others. I don't know. I mean, nobody really knows. We're just going along with follow the science. Follow the science. So we followed Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci fucked up the AIDS patients back in the late 60s, early 70s.
No, try 80s.
Okay, 80s. Well, he fucked them up. He fucked them up royally. Of course it was something new coming in, but he's a fucking monster.
So, okay, well, I don't mean to interrupt, but what I'm trying to say here is the question was, do you feel safer or not with 4 years ago? And I guess the answer is, at this point, I feel like uncertainty is in the air, definitely. And this is the sense that I had during the Trump administration, and it was not just because of the fucking riots and everything like that, all the crazy shit that was going on, but also the fucking the pandemic. So, and some of these are circumstances that were out of Trump's control, but it was definitely, we've heard of the political term "death by paper cuts," and those are those are some pretty big paper cuts that he had to take.
Well, don't we wish we would have different candidates right now?
Let me go back pre-Trump years. Am I better off now than I was during Obama? Absolutely not. I'm actually worse. I'm actually worse off.
Right.
My money doesn't go near as what it did. Chuck, to put this in perspective, okay, to feed 3 people for 8 days. Take a guess how much I spent.
For food?
Yeah.
$500?
About 6.
Oh, okay.
Now you would have paid half that or less 4 years ago. Because food has gone up
a lot less. 4
Well,
years.
food has gone up.
I would have paid considerably less during the Obama administration. But here's the thing. All right. Food prices in the last 4 years have gone up many times.
In some cases, 120%.
And they are not coming back down.
Right.
Now, mind you, I managed to find a really great deal on eggs. I got 50 eggs for $11 at Sam's. I came home with 12 of them.
And that's still not the greatest deal. It should be 99 cents a dozen. That's what it was 4 years ago.
Neither here nor there.
No,
neither here nor there. But the thing is, I found what was a great deal on the eggs.
Correct.
And thought, man, I was doing great. But when I tallied all of this up, it caught, my vacation, including the cabin rental. Okay. I'm running about $1,500.
And over half of it was food.
Over half of, about half.
About half of it was food. And that never used to be like that. It would be maybe a quarter of your vacation.
Yeah.
Is food.
And
half of it's your rent on your cabin.
We didn't eat out. We didn't eat fast food. I mean, I cooked hamburgers on a griddle. It was awesome.
Well, you should eat pine cones next time. I might cut down on your pine cones and maybe take
the pine tar sticks to your innards.
It's I don't know, man. Not much nutrition in squirrels and pine cones, really. you have to eat so much of them, and then all you're doing is shitting because it's so fibrous. But
and it hurts too.
So,
That's my codes.
So you are mixed. You're worse off, and you're better off.
What's the better off? What's the better off, Chuck?
I guess just the period of time that we're in right now, and just my altered sense of awareness, or just PTSD or whatever. It just makes me on edge even more with uncertainty. What's going to happen in November?
Right.
And and it could go batshit crazy no matter what way we go.
All right, man. Thanks.
That's true. I agree. Thanks, Chuck.
Anyway,
yeah, I agree. It could go batshit crazy either way.
Well, yeah. And here's the other thing. Okay, we have been sitting on the verge of war again.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Iran full out attacks Israel, we're going to have to come to Israel's defense.
Absolutely.
We are going to have to come to Israel's defense. We don't have a choice in that matter.
Well, and like Donald Trump said yesterday on when he was talking to Mr. Musk, that wouldn't have happened on his watch.
Honestly, I don't know that.
I think it would have been less of a chance. I think it would have been less of a chance.
I will give you that much. But the thing is, we know Trump, and we know his proclivity for hyperbole.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he exaggerates a lot, and
big time. Yeah.
I do not deny that.
Right.
Would have Putin invaded not Afghanistan, but Ukraine? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. The problems there go beyond Trump.
Trust me. What gets me on that whole Ukraine thing?
The problems
that nobody even brings up, or nobody even says, nobody even thinks about it. All the money we sent to them. Hunter Biden worked over there. Hunter Biden's friends worked over there. I think that has something to do with our money.
I do too, but you got to look at the whole picture, Henry.
Of course.
You got to look at the whole picture. Ukraine has been an issue since Stalin.
Yeah.
Okay, it has been an issue since Stalin. This isn't the first time. It's not going to be the last time. And by the way, Carl, great comment. Lawless lefties riot equals Trump's fault. Got it.
Yeah.
Good comment.
It's all Trump's fault.
Yeah, of course it is. It's always Trump's fault.
Not Tampon Tim.
Yeah, we're going to move on to that here in a little bit.
Okay.
But going back to last night. All right. Yeah, I don't think a lot of the things that are happening now would have happened if Trump was president.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, guess what? Trump is not president right now.
That's true.
All right. And to say that this would have happened or not would have happened
don't know.
are imponderables. Okay. Mm-hmm. Sure. We can all pretend that, yeah, if he was president right now, that, yeah, none of this would happen. Don't know. I call that bullshit and wishful thinking. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if I was king of the world, none of it would happen.
You're not?
All of you would be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Every last one of you would be dead. Yeah. The only people that would be alive were people who agreed with me.
Yeah, you wouldn't be king of the world. You'd be queen of the world.
Whatever.
Don't you whatever me.
I just did. Too bad. Too late. But once again, that's fantasy. That's fantasy.
Yeah.
That's fantasy. It's not reality.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I have with the Trump campaign. Here's the problem I have with the Harris campaign. What are the fucking plans?
Yeah.
Why are we not talking about what we are going to do? Why do we have divided parties? And I'm talking about both Republican and Democrat.
To the max. Way more than it should be.
Okay.
It's always been divided, but not this bad.
I'm talking division within the parties.
Oh, all over the place.
Division within
parties, out of the parties.
Division within the parties.
Yes.
Okay, there is no plan.
No,
they forced Joe Biden out.
That was one of their plans,
because they were losing money hand over fist. They were worried about Senate and representative seats.
Yeah. Yep, they were,
because they were, he was
a mockery.
Who's the chief dipshit?
And they're still leaving him in there.
We're not going to the esoteric, bullshit side. We're talking about what we see, what's happening right now.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have a unified party.
None of them. Yeah. Nobody.
Between the Democrats or the Republicans or the independents, for that matter. Because
I think more on them than anybody else.
No, actually, you look. Even what's his name?
Robert F.
Jr. RFK Jr. He isn't towing the Democrat Party line either. Major splits in some of his policy.
Oh yeah.
But
otherwise he'd be the candidate.
The thing is, none of them, absolutely none of them, are addressing the issues. Are trying to unify the parties.
Nope.
They have been, this is the way it's going to be. I mean, the Democrats, all they seem to be able to do is pretend to support this Kamala chick. Scream about Project 2025, which is a brainchild of a think tank.
Right.
Which Trump has not endorsed or supported.
Correct.
And has publicly said so. I don't know how many fucking times. I don't even know what the fuck it is. It might have some good ideas. I don't know. I don't care. It's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
But the thing is, we have a lack of these candidates saying what they're going to do. They're too busy attacking each other.
Well, that's all they're doing.
They're too busy attacking each other.
That's all they're doing. And
right now the media blitz of and the right-wing media blitz, and irrationally so, going against Tampon Tim. There, I said it, Chuck. Tampon Tim. And his failings. But we're still not talking about the real issues. I mean, Kamala Harris said one of her biggest policy issues, and this is the only policy issue I've heard from her, is she said, "Oh yeah, I want to make tips not taxed either."
Right, yeah. I believe what he says. Oh no, wait a minute, that's my idea.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that whatever wasn't directed at you.
No, I know it wasn't. It was directed towards her.
The thing is, we're not getting real policy. Oh, we're going to here's another policy thing. We're going after assault weapons. Well, that's been your fucking stance forever.
Right. And Tampon Tim's a big one on that.
What precisely are you going to do to prevent this country from going to war again? What precisely are you going to do to bolster the economy?
Right.
What precisely are you going to do? What are your policy matters? How are you going to handle foreign policy
and diplomats?
That comes with it. But how are you going to handle foreign policy? How are you going to handle the border? Are you actually?
Oh, they're doing good at it. Didn't you see the commercials? They're doing wonderful.
Give me some actual policy.
Yeah.
Trump has said, as far as his thing with the border, well, I'm going to have mass deportations.
Yep.
Okay, how? How are we going to pay for it? Number one.
Well, it's easy to pay for it when you consider you're going to cut off all their supply of money when you deport it back.
That's neither here nor there.
Well, you said how are we going to pay for it?
It's not that easy, Henry. It really is not that easy. I mean, yeah, sure. But that money was already earmarked for those particular social services. You don't take, there's no takey backs.
I know.
Okay. So no, you don't have extra money all of a sudden because you've just cut somebody off from welfare and deported them. No, that money is still there in the welfare system. Somebody else, it's going to go to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they created a mess with it, with this immigration crap.
Absolutely.
That she claims no responsibility for.
And of course, you've got Kamala Harris saying, well, her first day thing is to close the detention centers. That's her first day. I don't see how that's going to help things. It's going to mean you're going to let more undocumented people into the country, unvetted, unsecured, into the country immediately. Just close them.
What's the best way to take over a country from within?
I don't know. I've
I've
never tried to take over a country.
Just a Trojan horse happening.
Yeah, I understand that, Henry, and I see the similarities. But once again, you know, here we have two sets of people, and frankly, I'm disgusted with both of them.
Me too.
As I told Chuck earlier, I am very seriously considering writing in Long Break Wallace.
Nice.
When it comes to president for the United States.
Nice.
Because I am disgusted with both fucking parties and both campaigns.
That'd be so neat if we made it at least to the media, so that they come out and interview us and say, we are actually going to run next time.
Well, no, and not run this time. You're running this time, but it's a writing campaign. You know, I told Chuck he needs to open up his phone, get a paint program, and do a campaign thing. If he does that, I will post it to all my social media every day until election day.
Long Break Wallace, Republican and Democrat.
It doesn't even matter. Just freaking long.
It would really fuck people's heads up when you're doing that.
Of course it would. But can you imagine? Okay, if this actually happened, let's go into fantasy land. Let's say you two did manage to get the write-in vote in all 50 states.
Yes.
And you're sworn in as president, and Chuck is sworn in as vice president. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the Oval Office when the two of you went head to head arguing over policy.
We would argue, and I'd say, "Get the hell out of here! Go do what you want. I got work to do. Go have some fun. Go down, go fishing, and drink some beer.
Go fishing, go drink some beer. Just make sure you're available for the tie breaking.
Yeah. That's it. Don't worry, I'll cover for you,
Congress. But here's the thing. All right, here's the reason why they choose either a Republican for that position as vice president, because they're the tiebreaker in the Senate.
Right. Well, only if it's 50-50.
Well, right now it's 50-50.
Correct. Well, we're having Senate races too.
Right now it's 50-50. We're talking about it. Yeah, I understand that, Henry. It can change. I almost called you Harry, but
that's okay. Someone calls me Hank when they call in too.
Yeah, I know. Well, fuck them.
Hank.
Click. Fuck him in the air. I honestly don't give a shit. But the thing is, all right, that's why the Republicans choose a Republican running mate and Democrats, because even if it's your policy, and you want this bill to pass, you could tell, make sure you go down. No, he's going to vote his conscience.
Well, and they should.
And there's not a goddamn thing you could do about it.
Well, see, and that's the thing too. You don't tell someone how to vote.
I understand that.
Period. But they do.
There's got to be unity there.
They do.
There's got to be unity. So but I imagine that your administration would be rather unique.
Oh, big time.
This is why
we would have some good German shepherds in the White House.
Yeah, probably.
Not once a bite to Secret Service.
Well, right now with how the Secret Service is
Yeah, we
acting,
should bite
they
them.
probably should be bitten, but that's neither here nor there. But
You could Belgian Malinois for that.
there you go.
How Dylan?
Yeah. There you go. But no, seriously, we have a lack of unity within the party.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, there is no unity. There is no unity across the United States right now. We are at a perilous time.
Fucked up bad.
And Chuck and I talked about this earlier. We have a listener that calls in who claims everybody that doesn't agree with him 100% is his enemy. Is his enemy. And deserves, and has talked about arming himself.
Tundra, stop! It's just a motorcycle.
It's just a motorcycle.
See, Tundra's getting Dylan to start on that too.
Yeah, no, that's either.
Okay, stop. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that was a whatever. But I can't say I'm totally for Trump. I can't say I'm totally against Trump.
Well, I'm voting against Harris.
I'm exactly. But here it comes down to, and we talked about this earlier. I saw a post on X earlier that I really wished I'd saved off. And it said, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm voting for the First Amendment. I'm voting for the people of the United States. I'm voting. And he listed all the things that he is voting for.
Right.
Rather than a personality that sits in an office and signs bills and directs, whatever.
Yeah.
He's voting for issues.
Yeah.
But we're not there. Right now, we're not there. We are so personally biased against one another.
Oh, yeah.
That we have divisions. I mean, part of Chuck's earlier argument tonight was you're campaigning against somebody who is for LGBT rights and of course, Vance and Trump want to take that away. That's absolute fucking bullshit.
No, that ain't true.
That's bullshit.
Just because they don't promote it so much doesn't mean they're against it.
It is a distraction.
Yeah.
It is a dividing factor that has absolutely nothing to do
with nothing,
with anything at all.
Yeah. Nothing to do with nothing.
Trump comes in office, they're not going to make being transsexual, transgender illegal. I'm sorry.
No, they're going to make it a requirement.
They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it a requirement. They're not going to make it illegal. It's not going to be legal. It's not going to be legal to go shoot gay and lesbian and transgenders in the street. I'm not going to be strung up by a rope.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
I was looking to hit you like a piñata.
Yeah, fuck you, pal.
In the air.
I will never be a slave.
Right.
Because I have rights. I have constitutional rights that cannot be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
I have a right to exist. I have a right to life, liberty, and happiness, and the pursuit of happiness. Nothing guarantees that I'm going to be happy.
I know you're a miserable little fuck.
I am now. I'm back down off the mountain.
I know. I think you should have just bought a place up there.
Trust me, there were plenty of for sale signs up there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go look.
You're thinking about it too, huh?
I'm going to go look.
There are a lot of for sale signs up in that area.
But, well, obviously before the campground.
And after the campground.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of for sale signs. Oh, it's an expensive area to live in.
Where does the other side of the hill take you to?
To the other side of the hill.
What's it? I mean,
I don't know.
Okay, I don't either. I was wondering about that.
I don't know. I've
always
only
wondered about
traveled,
that.
I've only traveled down to the cafe, which are the restaurant that's
Okay,
on the
because
side.
I've done Mount Baldy from the 210 freeway all the way down to the other side off
Right.
the 15.
Right.
Which was
But,
kind of neat to do.
But once again, that's moving off the topic.
Here and there. Well, I know, but it's exciting to think about. Give me a Woody.
Yeah, I'll give you a Woody. You something to be excited. Well, the thing is, I was looking at it and going, Jesus Christ, I could live up there.
Yeah.
I mean, literally live up there. Give me internet, give me my computers, give me, reliable power. And
there is no internet up there though.
Yeah, there is. It's just expensive. Okay. Just expensive to get it into. In the campground, we don't. In the campground, they didn't want it. They don't want it. People are there to connect with nature and get away from
right.
Right. It's a vacation place.
Right. And then if you're living there, it's like, okay, vacation. Now I want to get to work.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But
vacation all the time gets boring.
Yeah, the problem is the higher up the hill, the more expensive it gets. So
sure.
But do I really want to live in snow? No, not really.
Do you really want to live in 122 degrees?
Definitely not.
Okay, well,
find me a happy medium that doesn't.
What would be nice is a place up there during the summer and a place down here during the rest of the time.
Yeah, who can afford that? Who can afford that anymore, Henry? When the average price for property and a house is $500,000.
Yeah, I know, and that's around here. If you go to LA area, it's $1 million, which is utterly ridiculous.
I'm talking national. Let me actually make sure that is correct. Okay, before Chuck calls me in and calls me an asshole. I didn't check my facts. ABRIGE price for housing. Average price for a house. Oh, see, here we go. The Raw, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Lance.
Hey
Henry.
Lance, how you doing,
Lance.
man?
Yeah, I tried to call earlier and you weren't taking my call, but
yeah, that's because Chuck was on the fucking line. Man,
Yeah.
you just have to reply. I only have one line here, so if it's busy, it's busy.
Yeah, I tried to go through to get through to it, or went right to voicemail.
Yeah, it does that. You just got to try back.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, hey, how you doing, man?
How you doing, Lance?
Yeah, pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, Henry. So sorry you had to get the Fauci ouchie.
No, I never got the Fauci ouchie.
A long while back.
No. No, I didn't get the Fauci ouchie, but I got the coof a while back without the ouchie.
Oh.
Now
Okay.
I got it. The funny thing is I got it the same time my brother did. He's been vaccinated and boosted a couple times, and he got it really, really bad. To me, it was just less than a cold. Within a couple days, it didn't even put me down, and within a couple days, it was gone. And he was down and out for a couple months. And that's the fucked up part about it is because I see too many people that did get that and it fucked with their immune system. It realigned it to where they have no immune system.
Okay. 2 years ago, I didn't have a nervous breakdown, but after I went to the emergency room for migraine headache or just a very bad headache. They said, wow, your blood pressure's, pushing nearly 300. And,
oh, Jesus Christ.
Holy crap. Did they give you, for your headaches, did they give you Emitrex or Botox?
Probably something like that, Imitrex.
Yeah, they give you
But,
Imitrex, or
yeah.
Botox actually works good too. The injections.
You know, the stuff for faces?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Botox. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That were great for headaches. Yeah, they found that for migraines that is the best.
Okay, but go ahead, Lance.
Go ahead,
Go
Lance.
ahead and
Sorry.
Yeah, so but they kept me there for 3 days. Said, "Well, we want to treat your high blood pressure," and
right.
And then, so for 3 days and 2 nights, just kept me on this blood pressure medicine, and then afterwards, especially the couple months that followed that, I felt like I was mentally retarded.
Yeah, it messes you up.
I felt like I felt like a junkie, and then so I only take one now, but the Cinepril and doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah, that you know what, that'll mess you up going in the hospital like that with the high blood pressure and the migraines. Yeah, sometimes it's long lasting. You get your health back.
Yeah, I guess I should have called in on the recovery show, but
that's okay.
No, that's fine.
Well, okay. Then I want to call out. It was yeah. I'm glad you're back, Rob, because I'm getting tired of the pastor taking over Sunday. So
hey, come on, I was there too.
I know. So a couple of days ago, someone called in the afternoon drive-by and complained about the pastor and.
Oh, it must have been Kenny.
No, it wasn't Kenny. But speaking of Kenny, that was about a year ago. I was listening to that when the pastor cut him down, and
he laid into him. Yeah.
Laid
into Ed from Needles too.
Well, he deserves it. But anyway,
not Kenny. We love our Kenny though.
Okay, so but what's going on with the pastor? Is the station owner forcing the pastor on your?
No, he has his own. He has his own show too.
Program. I invited him on a permanent basis.
Okay.
Because
it's a different perspective.
I invite all perspectives on my program,
right?
Whether we agree or not, and believe me, Pastor Jim and I have had some epic arguments.
Right.
We disagree on quite a few things. But where the pastor and I get along really well is, number one, we're both veterans. Number two, we're both Christians. Number three, we're both Americans. And I respect his opinions as much as he respects my opinions, even if we vehemently disagree with one another. Mm-hmm. Okay. And, he has made it known from the beginning that even though I'm transsexual, I am welcome in his church. Do you know how much that means to me?
Yeah, because there's a lot of pastors
as a Christian person. Do you know how much that means to me?
I do. Yeah,
that means a shit ton to me, because I have been turned away from places that I wanted to worship because I'm a transsexual, or I'm a homosexual, or I'm something other than what they feel should happen. No, I am a Christian. I am a sinner in the eyes of Christ and God. I deserve to. I need a place to worship.
Yeah.
And I'm welcome in his church to worship as a sinner. So yeah, that's why he has a permanent spot in my retinue of co-hosts.
Okay.
Because he does have a difference of opinion. He does bring a fresh perspective. I mean, Yeah, he tends to get opinionated. That's fine. We all do. You've heard me go off on people, I'm sure.
Right.
Chuck in particular. But you know what? I respect Chuck. I love Chuck. He's also another fellow veteran, not just because he's a fellow veteran, but because he brings a fresh perspective. And like I said, sometimes he makes me stop and think and have to examine how are you looking at this? How can you possibly think this? And I have to sit back and I have to think it for a minute and go, I think I see where you're coming from, but I disagree. And that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. And, Chuck is welcome at my table any day. Any day. I'd have him at my campfire. I might be tempted to push his face in the ashes, but you know what the hell? I like my fellow Americans, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of your political affiliations. The reason the reason I have Pastor Jim on is he brings another fresh perspective. I don't want an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. I want people to disagree with me.
Right.
I want the conversation. I want the honest felt conversation. That's why I have the Raw here. So we can, talk about these things and whether we end up agreeing with each other or not, the discussion has happened and we part as friends once again. And that's it. That's my philosophy in a nutshell, and that's why I will continue to have Jim on my program, because he's a dear friend, point blank. And like I said, I don't have to agree with everything anybody says.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't like the way he puts down Trump and supports Kamala Harris.
I don't think he actually supports Kamala Harris either.
No, he doesn't support Kamala Harris.
I'm not the only one who feels that way, but okay.
That's the thing. That's his good shtick. I mean, he does not allow anybody to know who he supports politically.
That's right.
I mean, I don't even know who he supports politically.
Right.
And you heard me. I don't know how long you've been listening to the program tonight. All 3 hours?
No, about 2.
About 2 hours. Okay. I'm very seriously considering, because I'm so pissed off with both parties right now, of writing in Henry Longbreak and Chuck Wallace. That's how pissed off I am at both sides right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's my choice. That's my vote. And
I'd even vote.
What's that?
I'd even vote for RFK Jr.
He's an option too, but
that is a good option. Yeah.
Some of the things that he's been talking about, I don't like. I don't like his stance on gun control at all.
Right,
period.
Right.
Okay.
That to me is an automatic loser. That to me is an automatic loser. I also know Trump's stance on gun control. He demonstrated during his first term. He has no problem directing the ATF to ban certain things, which ended up being a direct violation.
Right.
Okay, so he's not a true gun advocate. He's not a true Second Amendment advocate, even though he says he is. He's not. That's the truth of the matter. Okay. So which devil am I going to vote for? The devil I know, or the devil I think I know? This is why, the long break Wallace ticket is looking more attractive, because these are two people that actually give a shit about the country.
Yeah, Chuck
actually give a shit about the Constitution. Actually give a shit about the welfare of the people. Because I've talked to them, they've said their piece about it constantly. constantly. So anyway, I hope that clears up concerns.
It sure does, because I was going to bring up this movie from 1988 called Talk Radio.
that TV show, yeah, that was great.
No, it was a box office movie.
Oh, was it? I thought it was a sitcom, news radio. That's what it was. News radio.
It's called Talk Show.
Talk Radio, directed by Oliver Stone, screenplay
Talk
by
Radio.
Eric Oppenstein. It's based on Talk to Death, the life and murder of Alan Berg.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, okay, I remember.
In Denver, 1984.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that vividly. I lived in Wyoming in 1984, so yeah, I remember that vividly.
Okay, Talk Radio is a 1988 movie.
Right.
A show based at
he just said what it was.
In Dallas?
Yeah, I looked it up. I'm reading Wikipedia.
Okay. Is that the one?
Yes, you found it.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Poor Henry. Anyway. All right, Lance, man, great talking to you, my friend.
Yes, really... Lance, awesome. Thanks.
Okay, well, we'll try it again next week.
Oh, absolutely.
Please. Call in on the weekend, too. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, I will.
Well, I had a song, though, I want to play, but because has the F word in it, so it would only, play it on the Raw.
Only on the Raw.
The same way with this soundtrack from I had it all queued up for you, but tells there's a caller, very distraught caller, and then the host at the radio station owner forced the guest host with the because he was in to boost his ratings, tells him to tells this caller to F off. Tells him, here's what you do. You pinhead, you go to the drugstore and buy a pack of razor blades and
no. We don't. Oh yeah, no.
Effing pinhead. I had that soundtrack all queued up, but since you changed my mind about Pastor Jim, and so I guess there's no need to play it now. Okay.
That's okay, man. Man, thanks for your comments and your call, man. Do appreciate it.
Thanks, Lance.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Now,
928-476-0331 is the number if you want to join in the conversation.
I got a local news alert on the west side, Chevron gas station. There is a chemical spill, so stay away from that area if you're in Needles. The west side Chevron station.
Great, that's over by the radio station.
Yeah, it is. It is across the freeway from the radio station.
Yeah, that's the old Circle K.
Yes, and they have fire trucks over there and hazmat, and they're determining the problem.
Fuck me running. I hate to hear that, but anyway. Oh man, I'll tell you what. This has been a great program tonight. The Tim Walz thing was something I needed to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there is so much disinformation. Even the Republicans are putting out wrong information.
Yeah.
And arguing about false things. And I kind of wanted to set the record straight. This is what this is about. Ding, 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 ding. And that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, I can focus on his policies. His policies fucking suck. He's an anti Second Amendment person.
Mm-hmm.
He has stated, yeah, weapons of war don't belong in the hands of civilians. Well, okay, fine, fuck off. You lost my vote permanently with that. And his other stances on things as well that I don't appreciate. And I'm sure we'll talk about more of those. But the thing is, I wanted to put this to bed, to rest, to stop with it. And maybe, clear up some inconsistencies. Clear up some inconsistencies.
Good luck on that.
Well,
that's ongoing, and it's going to be ongoing forever.
All you can do, okay, is state the truth and allow people to make up their own minds.
Yes.
If having somebody in the top, in one of the top tier seats in government, who knowingly embellishes his service, doesn't bother you, then that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. If it doesn't bother you, well, fine, it doesn't bother you. And nothing I say is going to ever change your mind.
Right.
But the thing is, I'm tired of the stupid lies. I'm tired of the he said, she said bullshit. And I want to see more honesty.
Good luck with that. Yeah, in fact checking nowadays is gone. I believe nobody's even doing that anymore.
That's why I played that video from earlier today, or from yesterday. Okay, you of course you missed the entire thing. That's fine.
I did. I just peeked real quick at Facebook, and Lance posted it up.
Yeah. But it's
thanks, Lance, for doing that. I appreciate it.
It's a good factual step by step. Here's what the real news articles say. Here's what I found out from other command sergeant majors. That's why I played that. Okay, it wasn't with malice aforefront. I wanted the truth out there. So people like you, people like me, people like Lance, people like everybody could get the facts so they could make up their own mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted. That's our job here.
Mm-hmm.
That is our job here, to put the facts in front of the people. Yeah, we can give our opinions, but first we put the facts out. First, we put the facts out, and then allow people to form their own opinions, and then respect the opinions that they form.
Wow, you mean like
I don't have to agree with your opinions, but I have to respect that you have the right to your opinions.
Almost like Walter Cronkite.
Oh my goodness fucking gracious me. And that's the way it was. It comes down to as simple as that, Henry.
Yeah.
When I say negative things about President Trump, they're factual negative things about President Trump.
Right.
He turned his back on the Second Amendment and banned bump stocks.
He did. Because of public outcry and Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Shooting. Yeah. Do something about it.
Yeah, do something. Well, he did something about it and ended up breaking the Constitution.
Well, yeah, they reversed it. It took them a long time.
It took them a long time afterwards.
Almost the whole administration, the next administration, to do it.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to point it out.
I was listening to Fox News. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday morning when I was coming back down from the hill, because it's time to get back into reality. And they had on a report that I didn't believe.
Bless you.
Good, holy cow! That one just got bam. in the back of the skull. But that the majority of Americans are upset with the Supreme Court. Bullshit.
No, they're not.
This is Fox News. Okay. I don't trust Fox News as far as I can throw them.
No.
I listen to them, then I go and do my own research.
Of course. You have to.
But you know, when I called in Saturday, you remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I called in. I actually wanted to talk about pink cocaine.
Pink cocaine.
Pink cocaine. But, you know, you guys were already having a discussion about Walz. That's all right. So I kind of jumped in there, half-cocked. But you know what?
We didn't like you anyway.
Oh, fuck off.
I mean, did I say that out loud?
You did. Retard.
I'm not retarded.
Yeah, well, you know, just what it is. Anyway, you know what, Henry?
We're out. We're out.
It is 10 o'clock. We're man, I'll tell you what, this last 3 hours went by fast. Absolutely.
Yep.
But want to remind people be on. I will be back in the K2X studios on Saturday and Sunday. So
you'll be back.
You be Compton. I will be back.
I'll be Compton.
I am back. And we'll see you 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the K2X studios. Of course, it'll be broadcast on Rumble and X or Twitter X. I don't know what to call it. I really don't. But
formerly known as.
Yeah.
The artist formerly known as.
But, you know, of course, make sure you go to the raw.locals.com, sign up for a free account so you're notified if we happen to decide to come on
like yesterday
on an emergency basis like we did yesterday. And, you know, actually, I enjoyed that. But, you know, still, we're out of time. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
You're tired.
I am. I'm freaking beat. I'll talk about council once we get off.
Go out there and make the world a better place.
Just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen.
Avast ye scallywags, it's another pirate production. Are you experiencing shortness of breath, erratic heart rates, cold sweats, loss of hair, uncontrollable urges to scream, low testosterone, and the desire to drink soy lattes and color your hair blue? Every time you hear a name, then you may suffer from Trump Derangement Syndrome or TDS. There is a cure for you. Call 1-555-RED-PILL and we will ship you out a bottle of our high dose of reality. Just one dose and all your symptoms will disappear like it was magic. But really, it's science. Our crack team of trained specialists have spent years developing this one-shot pill that will make your life magical again. Side effects may include chest hair growth, the ability to walk by a woman and get her pregnant just by being within 10 feet, getting a job and keeping a job, moving out of your parents' basement, the desire to own a firearm, including high-capacity magazines filled with freedom seeds, lower taxes, and sudden fits of happiness and joy. Call 1-555-RED-PILL. That's 155-RED-PILL today and start living the American dream.